What did I plug you into? B.
I can't hear me either. So.
Well, you're dumb. Why can't you hear yourselves? Should have known better. Oh, I know what it is. I know why you can't hear you. Because you're muted.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, you're loud. What'd you do? Why'd you fuck this up so bad? Who would have thought, like, cramming a sound console into a little bin
Would fuck all the knobs up.
Fuck all the knobs up. It really makes you question, like, this is all digitally stored. Mm-hmm. Why is this not digitally stored?
Yeah. Did I show you that synth that has motorized knobs?
Yes.
With memory? Oh.
So which one? You're in B? B, everything's down. Why is everything down in B? C, D. Let's just make B match A, B. So you want to be hearing...
That did nothing.
This is John's.
Okay, good.
So this is QLab. You want to hear a little bit of that. This is you and me. You should be hearing me now.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And me.
No Tim.
No Tim?
And me.
I can hear you since you're in front of me, but not in the headset.
Gotcha.
Wait, try again.
Death Wish coffee.
No.
This knob is not. The slider won't let me change it. It's like not responding to the programming. Talk now, Tim.
You should have known better than to cheat a friend.
Are you hearing yourself?
I'm hearing me, yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to B. Well, that's fucking gay. What about on D?
D.
Oh.
D's nuts.
Now you should be able to hear everything.
D's nuts.
There he is. There you go. There's an easy solution to everything. If you're a master audio engineer like I am.
So my headphone mix is 50% too loud. Yeah, that's better.
My headphone mix is too loud.
No regrets.
Cry, baby. Should have known better than to touch your sister.
What is Shrek? What? Shrek Fest?
Shrek Fest 2017.
Oh, it's a tour. It's a tour. Shrek Fest.
Boop, boop. Some douchebag at every wedding. Is this Shrek Club 90 SLA Phoenix? Why would the fuck would we go to Shrek Fest? Why are we being added? If either of you work at Shrek Fest, I demand a t-shirt. Okay. I understand now.
There's also a Shrek Fest in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
September 3rd. It's a separate Shrek Fest.
All right.
Oh,
yeah. It's Man Bun City over here.
Yep. Because it's fucking hot out.
It is fucking miserable.
I'm still really hot.
Why don't you fucking stop whining?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Do you feel
That's
like
better.
your level is hot? Or do you feel like
the mix was hot? Yeah.
I got something hot for you. Hot
is it a beef injection?
Only the finest of beefs.
A 100% Frankfurter.
Can we have an ale for me and me mates?
When his hot beef injection is Wagyu.
You've all been there, man. I hope Sage and Mr. Kill Everything call in,
I do too.
because otherwise that would be a big cock tease. Should have known better than to cock tease. Here's when I'll get podcast and tell them that I'd call in with my beef. How do you want to do? You want us to do an issue and then we'll start bringing people on?
Yeah, sure.
It sounds really echoey. It sounds like there's a channel on that's not supposed to be on.
I think it's the dishwasher.
Penis.
No? Oh, it might be the fan.
No, it's something else.
Okay.
Just the acoustics.
It's whatever channel that is. What channel is this? This is you. What did you do, Tim? Did we have pads on originally? Is that? Check. No. I think your gain is like way higher than it ever was. Talk now.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, yours looks good. Actually, no, you know what I just realized? Is that I can't hear me in my own headphones. What about now? Yeah, now I can hear myself. That's way better. Holy shit. All right. Now that we're not embarrassing ourselves with technical difficulties on the stream, Mr. Everything is checking his settings. I see him queued up in the chat.
Oh, shit.
Shit's getting real. Shit's getting real. Well, before we let this bloodbath begin, let's jump right into it. This week's episode, Here's What I Don't Get, is brought to you in part by the penultimate Last Supper. The penultimate Last Supper that had 28 apostles and I believe 3 kangaroos. So if you want to check out the penultimate Last Supper, you can visit it at the Sistine Cathedral, not to be confused with Sistine Chapel. There you go. Hola and como está? Bienvenidos, mi amigos, to El Capitano's final episodos of the El Podcasto. I'm your host, Ted Burton. With me today, as always, my friend, Tim the Handlebreaker.
You're going to have to translate that for me.
It means welcome to Bitch Town. We're here for the penultimate episode of Here's What I Don't Get, at least in this format.
Yeah.
There might be more. We don't know. And we've got some callers lined up in StreamYard. I see Travis Touchdown is here. He's trying to present himself in VR. Mr. Kill Everything is ready to call in and debate Sage. It looks like he's smoking a fine cigar. We have Andy.
He's probably stole that from work.
We have Andy, classic caller to the show. Andy standing by on the line. Ninja Andy. He's here to tell us about the hell that is St. Louis, I'm sure. I've been back in Tulsa for a couple of days, and people keep being like, "How's St. Louis?" And typically, whenever people ask me how are you doing, I say like, "I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. I couldn't complain." But then I say that, and they're like, "Oh, that's good to hear. How's like the job or the house?" And I'm like, you know what? Actually, everything sucks, and I hate it. I live in purgatory. I live in purgatory on Earth. I love this. So we're in these nice, comfortable chairs. Tim's all laid back and relaxed. I am perched. I could not be further on the edge of this chair right now. We're recording at Truckin' and Tuckin's house.
Yep.
He generously allowed us to use his internet and chairs, and that was it. There's actually we have Todd outside. He's on a bike, pedaling furiously to power the entire setup. So
the soda was $10.
Yeah, I mean, he's just charged us out the ass for all the little things. So here we go. We're only doing one camera today because we're going to be bringing people on. So you get to see how fat we are in our man buns. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, I guess we got next week's episode. We're going to have a lot of voicemails. It's going to be a regular episode. But this week, we're letting people call in. We're letting them get those things off their chest they've been wanting to say. Some of those racial slurs that have been building up. We're here for you. So I'm looking forward to this episode, but I thought we'd start out maybe do an issue each to kind of, warn. It's like an opener.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Imagine if you were, normally you have the opener come out before Van Halen, and he kind of plays the song, and they're like, okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm ready for Van Halen now. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna Van Halen for you guys. Then you get to come on and just Kenny G it up. and then we'll Van Halen out the close,
Yeah.
and so people can just like be prepped if they don't like you on that little skip button. Just boop, 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 boop. Like me, anytime they do To Catch a Dabbler on WATP, I'm just like, don't give a single fuck. Anyway, not to throw shade, but I hate that bit. So anyway, here we go. Well, Tim, would you like to start us out with this penultimate episode?
Yeah. Here's what I don't get. Wi-Fi woes. So I got my internet switched over, and it's great. The internet itself is great. I mean, I think the day before we switched, or so 2 days. So I guess we had them come out on they came out on a Wednesday. The Monday we were supposed to record the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It would not have gone. It wouldn't, even if we couldn't have recorded the episode. The internet was so bad that day. It was just cutting out every 5 minutes.
The fresh internet?
No, the old internet.
The old internet.
The old internet was so like, that's the worst thing about it was that like I can deal with the low speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this as long as I've had that old internet was bad. It's like I can deal with the low speed, right? That's not a problem to me.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when 1 gigabyte took 1 hour to download.
Yeah.
I'm talking, 10, 15 years ago. Because I recall very distinctly.
You remember trying to jerk off and like you'd see the top of the girl's hair.
Yes.
And
it's
like
line by line.
And you're like trying to hold back, but you're also trying to go at it.
Uh-huh.
And then you're like, here come the tits. And then it's like someone picks up the phone and tries to make a phone call and it's like 404 and you're just like, God damn it. And then you come all over your screen. And now anytime you get like a 404 error, you just get unreasonably horny. Yeah.
No, I remember downloading, I think, New Vegas when it was new, and it was like 7.8 gigs or whatever, and it took all day. It took 8 hours. I can deal with that. The problem was the sporadicness. It going out all the time, it going to, having, 25 kilobits per second at a time, and also not knowing when that was going to happen. Because it would be fine, like, 3 days in a row, a week in a row, and then out of nowhere, just cutting off all the time. So, new internet, it's great. They haven't buried the line yet, but it's like running through my backyard and around the house. So
you just have like a cable laying in your yard, and that's how the internet gets into your house.
Yeah, and it's way better. Like
until someone like weed eats, and then oh shit! Mine like came off a pole, and they went to the side of my house through the air, and then down the side. I'm shocked that they're like they're gonna bury it.
In our neighborhood, it's all it's all in the ground. So new internet is great. The router is great. It's the same one you have. It's this big old white thing. It's the problem is it's Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah.
Which is the newest Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Newest Wi-Fi protocol, and that part's great. Because I think it's AX is the actual term for it, and
that's because we had BG and I don't remember AC
was 5.
Yeah.
AX is 6.
Yeah.
I think they're switching over to numbers to make it easier for people to understand
that this one's better.
Yes.
When you were looking at old routers and it was like, this is an N router.
What does that
mean? This one gets slurs to you lightning fast. The original one got bitches to you lightning fast. That was why it was called B. Was because you're trying to get bitches so you could jerk off.
Yes.
And I don't remember what G was
games,
for.
Probably
games. Yeah, that was the number 2.
Yeah.
And then slurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Exactly. It's like we need better because you were playing games and the slurs weren't coming through clearly.
Yes.
Like you're kind of lagging out and it'd be like, and then it would
your slurs weren't going out cleanly either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get the N router and it's like just every single one you can think of. Yeah.
So it's got like it's like the coolest, newest, hottest.
I don't know
stuff.
how you can be so relaxed. I don't know how you're like back here.
It's like, a chair.
Ready to take a nap. Just like, yeah, I'm real pissed off about this Wi-Fi and shit, man. This shit blows.
We don't record the podcast standing up.
I've stood up during the show.
Sure.
I've done episodes standing. What the fuck are you doing? Trucking and Tucking is trying to Mission Impossible himself over here
crawling
in the cigar
on
box.
Like I've seen, it's like America's Funniest Home Videos where like there's a guy like on you see it's from his webcam, right? And he's like streaming, and like his mom like sneaks in and crawls on the floor to get something in the room. That's what he was doing.
God damn, couldn't see him, but
yeah.
Anyways,
so the router is on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
Because that's where they put it in. I'm fine with that. I can use the Wi-Fi. I like being wired, but I'm not a bitch enough to complain about the Wi-Fi. So I'm if my phone is what I had in my hand, I test it. I go the other end of the house, my room, and I test it, and I'm getting more than we pay for.
Nice.
Up and down, and like the lowest latency I've ever seen. It was like 8 milliseconds of latency.
Wow.
It was single digits, or it was close. And that's on my phone on the opposite, the furthest away a device can be from the router in the house. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking great.
I was like those videos of guys where they're colorblind, right? And they get the colorblind glasses and they slide them on. They're like, oh my God, I can see colors.
Yeah. They're crying. Yeah, you see those videos of dads getting it and they're crying.
They like, or the kids, they put it in and they hear their moms voice the first time. And
they're like,
oh my God, that was Tim. That was Tim with finally being able to download hentai.
Yes,
in a reasonable amount of
time.
Oh, Koro Kaka-san, we can finally be together. As he strokes his phone lovingly.
So then I turn on my PC and I do the speed test.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting 90 megs down.
No.
That's not good. 90 megs down.
No, you were supposed to save us. You were the chosen one.
High latency, like 300 something.
Oh my
latency.
God.
Getting 60 up, which is still, it's still pretty good. It's 60 up was, it's 12 times better than what I had the day before. But I'm like, so I run it again. Oh, I'm like, it just booted, right? So it's warming up, right? Trying to convince myself that nothing's wrong. Speed test again. It's like 120. I'm like, oh, that's better. Okay, clearly it's just like it's getting used to the it's putting the tip in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting used to filling it out.
Yeah.
So I run it again.
Slow at first. All the lubrications in there.
Run it again. It's like 110. Run it again. It's like 90 again, and it's just staying in this like 90 to 120 range, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I said, it works.
Mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed. I'm like, you know what? I'll go get a range extender. Because I go on the AT&T like app thing. They're like, hey,
the app that I refuse to install.
Yeah. I installed it.
You?
Yeah. So I installed it, and it's like, hey, walk around your house, and this will tell you like where Wi-Fi dead zones are. So I do that, and like the back half of the house where I am is in like it goes from green to yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so the signal drops off clearly here between all these walls. I'll get a range extender. I get like the best Wi-Fi 6 range extender there is. Go through the whole thing, plug it in, connect to it, same speeds.
Where'd you put it?
I put it at the end of the green, basically.
Very smart. Okay, you put it in the right spot.
It's because
a lot of people will put them
where they
need it,
yes.
And then it's like it's not working. Like, it's not it can't hand shitty internet off.
Yeah. Most people don't understand that it just takes what you give it and puts that back out.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much line of sight of the router. But I'm still getting the same speeds. In fact, I think I'm getting better speeds from the router at times.
Oh wow!
So I do a bunch of research, and I haven't figured it out. I haven't
3 pairs of socks.
100% figured it out yet. But I think it's just a Wi-Fi 6 thing.
Yeah.
Because I do a little research. Wi-Fi 6.
You have an old, whatever you're using has an old Wi-Fi card.
So So my motherboard's Wi-Fi card is from 2017. Wi-Fi 6 wasn't introduced until 2019 at the earliest. But like Wi-Fi 5 like the theoretical speed of my Wi-Fi chip is more than we pay for.
So yeah, you shouldn't be seeing that.
Yeah. So I bought a USB Wi-Fi 6 network card with a bunch of antennas. Hopefully that fixes the whole thing. But I mean, I'm just glad to have internet that's like not going out all the time, because last weekend was Evo, which is like the World National Fighting Game Championships.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't watch any of it until the last day. I just threw all the finals on, and on Chrome I was just buffering, and it was hard to watch. It would go down to 160p every now and then,
Yeah.
or turn off. I tried another browser and it was better in Firefox, but it was still I couldn't stream it at 1080 evenly the whole time.
I'm not seeing Sage yet in the listing, so I'm paying attention to you, but I'm trying to. I'm going to text him the link to the thing, so he knows we need to have him on the show.
So I had an old range extender, right? It was an old Belkin range extender. I found it like on a Target clearance section for $5, and I bought it years ago, right? And it was like it was a little square, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little cube like this, about this big. About 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. That was an old 2.4. It wasn't even 5 gig. It was an old 2.4 gig range extender. So I haven't messed with any of them until now. And I got this new one in. Holy shit. It is, I thought it would be a lot smaller than it is. It's about with the antennas, it's as tall as a power strip is long.
Okay.
And it's like 4 or 5 inches wide. It's like 3 inches deep. It's a brick.
God, so it's basically like a router on its own.
Yeah. So that was, $100. So that was a fun spend. That, like, it works, but I don't know if I want to return it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, like, right now it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
But maybe once I get the new card in, it'll help somehow. I don't know.
I think what you should do is just like run a cable up into your ceiling and put access points above every room.
Yeah.
So all it has to broadcast through is one piece of drywall.
Yeah, because I didn't want to go mesh, because the mesh system's like fucking $300-$400.
The one that I bought's only like the Wi-Fi 6 version of the one I bought is only like $230.
How many points is it though?
3.
3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know if I could do if 3 points would be enough. Yeah, it should be, but that's still, I mean, if this that might be what I do if this new card doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Because I still had my power line adapters, and that's the first thing I tried.
Yeah, and it didn't do anything.
It was the exact same speeds as the old internet, because that's limited to the electrical wiring in your house.
Yeah, I don't believe that those things work. I'm not convinced.
Theoretically, they should.
Theoretically,
yeah. But
theoretically, Caitlyn Jenner's a woman, so take that for what you will.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good issue, Tim. Let me jump into my first issue this week before we start getting these guests on. Here's what I don't get. God damn it!
I love it every time it happens.
Me trying to do too many things and then getting back to the soundboard. Here's what I don't get. 4 guitars, 5 vocalists, and a harmonica. I mixed a show last night that might be the worst show I've ever mixed in my life.
Yikes.
And there were a lot of factors stacked against me. There was a lot of shit going on yesterday, a lot of pieces in motion that some of which I had control over and some I didn't. And so anyway, it was this big wedding anniversary party, and the band was kind of like trickling in, and so I only had some pieces at certain times.
Yeah.
And I was able to get everything set up, but I wasn't really able to get a test on anything. And then the party started, and like the guys in the band had other party duties to handle. And so then it's just like, all right, we're gonna start playing. And I haven't even like line checked this rig to see if it works.
Yeah.
So we have problems getting started, and then the show starts, and I'm trying to balance 5 vocalists. Like the all I'm putting in my system is 5 vocalists, a kick drum, a keyboard send, and an acoustic guitar send.
Okay.
And those keyboard and acoustic guitar sends I have way down, but the vocals I'm really just trying to get those up over everything else. And I had that, but there are 4 guitar players on stage.
Why?
Because it was a big party where people who played music were there. So like, come up and grab one of these guitars and play.
Yeah.
And so, we're in a room that has been retrofitted onto the side of this. It was an old house that they then turned into an event center. And so they put in this room the floor of one of the old bowling alleys from here in Tulsa.
Okay.
So a bowling alley floor, a wood gabled ceiling. So it's just hard glass windows on the one side, and then it goes into a porch. It's just hard surfaces everywhere. So there's just all kinds of bounce.
Yeah, I mean that's a bouncy house.
Yeah, it was rough. And then the lead singer gets up there, and the lead singer is fucking hammered. This is 8 p.m.
Wow.
8:30, totally wasted, and just keeps drinking. And he hasn't been taking care of his voice for, I can only guess, like 20 years. So he can't really sing anything outside of a very, very narrow band of stuff. And he can't sing anything too many in a row. So he's like taking one off. And he does a thing that lead singers do that I hate, where he has to like fuck with the mic stand while he's playing, while he's singing. But he's not singing like I'm going to sing into this mic stand like I'm eating a delicious ice cream cone. He's like fucking all over the place with it. And so he's loosening every connection, and then it's getting floppy, and then it won't stand still when he wants it to stand still. So then he's trying to adjust it. And at one point he ended up fucking throwing it. He broke the screw bit. I was so glad it was not my mic stand, because if it had been my mic stand, he would have been getting an ass kicking. He broke the screw bit off of the end of the mic stand. So it's now worthless.
Yes.
Or at least the boom arm is worthless, but it was a mess with him, and he's not loud enough. So I'm having to like gain him up and push him louder to try and get him over all this stuff. He can't hear himself in the monitors. So he's taking his microphone, getting real close to the monitors, and fucking causing wailing feedback, which caused me to pull him back or mute him when he's not standing there. At one point, he just sets his microphone on the floor, just on the fucking floor.
Pointing at a monitor.
Yeah. So of course it's just fucking wailing. And then he's like, I can't hear me. I can't hear me. We need more. Hey. Yeah. Okay. That's good. And then, so he's playing and doing his thing. And then, so I'm really having to spend more time focused on his voice than try and get everything else working well to get a good mix. And then he pulls out the single worst instrument humankind has ever made, the old skin flute, the fucking harmonica. And he does that thing harmonica players do, where he cups the whole microphone in his hand and just and I apologize to everyone.
Thank you for that incredibly accurate harmonica solo.
I did that even without harmonica. It was incredible. That was what it sounded like, but coming out of my loud PA. So it was like a punch in the gut. So then I had to put a compressor on his channel to try and fight when he decided to play the harmonica arbitrarily. And then at one point he wanders off stage. He just wanders off stage, like in the middle of a song. And I'm like, okay, I guess he's not singing this one. So I mute his channel because it's causing me all kinds of problems. I start like workshopping everything else. And I start hearing harmonica. And I'm looking, and he's grabbed someone else's microphone, and he's playing harmonica because he couldn't hear his, because his was muted.
Was he trying to do crowd work, or
I don't know what he was doing, but he was pissing me off. He was real. I'm normally like I like get in a zone when I'm mixing, and I'm just like, I'm processing the sound, and I'm kind of just a fixture. I'm moving around, and he kept shaking me out of my like mixing zone, and it was very intensively frustrating me. So then at one point he's now done several songs. He keeps going like, all right, I'm gonna do this one more. I'm gonna do one more. And he's like, drink more beer. I need another beer. His girlfriend would go get more beers, and then he'd drink beers, and then he's just fucking wasted on stage. Just a fucking embarrassment. He's making a spectacle of himself.
Yeah.
So then they're doing Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Okay.
Classic song. Everyone knows that song. What a great song. He gets up there and he's, they do a guitar solo, let him do his harmonica solo. then they come back in. The singer starts singing again, and he's just the singer I'm like, oh yeah, this solo area's over, buddy. I finally just muted his channel, and he's just standing there for the rest of the song, just fucking silently, because it won't carry over the sound of everything else in the band. And then he can obviously no longer hear it in the monitor, so he's like trying to cup it into his own ear and still play. It's like, do you not hear the singer literally right behind your fucking stupid head singing, coming out of the monitor in front of you? It's the singing part of the song. The harmonica part of the song is over, and it didn't fucking exist in the first place.
Tab. The best solos in all of music are over the verses of songs.
It's a classic rock, gambit.
Yep.
I wanted to punch him. He was so lucky that none of the equipment he was directly interfacing with was mine, because at one point, after his final song, I think I decided it was after that Funky Music, White Boy, he set the microphone on the ground again and kind of started to wander off. And I marched up there and unplugged that fucking mic and went and hit it. And then he was like, I was like a sound bartender. Like,
yeah,
you're cut off. You're not fucking singing any more songs tonight, buddy. We're not servicing your kind here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off the stage. If it was any other situation with that guy, it would have come to blows, or it would have at least come to a very heated conversation. Because I would have been, if I was like the venue manager and that was my PA and that guy was acting like that, I'd be like, you're fucking done. Get the fuck out of here. And they're like, well, who's the lead singer for the band? Then you're all done. Get your shit and get the fuck out. The whole night was just, and then the funny thing was that band played the night before at some other venue in town.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't tell me. I was in town.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me they were playing somewhere else, so I didn't go. And then the next morning I show up to start helping set up for this event. And they're like, oh, Tab, why were you not at this show at Blackbird? We needed you. And they're like describing how terrible it was. And at one point, I guess they just stopped the song because if the bass player played anything in the key of F, the harmonics in the room would create notes that didn't exist, that on top of it just being already muddy. He said, he's like, there was this weird thing happening. And I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. It's like a harmonic resonance that's happening in the room. Yeah. And so it's
the thing that can happen if you, it's like the one in a 1,000 thing that can happen when you don't have sound baffling. When you have a perfect frequency bounce off of a flat surface and come back at you and like into the speakers.
Yeah, you can you'll get these reverberant fields where you can be in a place where a sound is louder than the source.
Yes.
Because of the way it'll bounce. And then you have that happen with harmonics where it'll bounce and then change frequency as it loses.
Because harmonics are
energy.
So
and it's a lot easier with low frequencies because they're easy to cut in half as they lose energy. And so I guess the sound guy at this venue just did not give a single fuck. He had the bass just blasting out. You couldn't hear anything. And so by comparison, the mix that I did the next night was fucking perfect. But I was just like, I was so frustrated by they just played straight through for like 2 hours. By the time we were getting to like the last 6 or 7 songs, by the time the fucking harmonica guy left, that was when I finally started to get a handle on everything. And then by the end, it was sounding much closer to what I expect of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, and I know, the musicians were all like, man, it sounded great. You need a blah, 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 blah. And it's the same way that like normal people come up to musicians after a gig and they're like, "Man, you sounded great. You guys really rocked." And
they're thinking, I fucked
up that part of that song, or I didn't have this, I messed up that, because like they're analyzing it in much more specific detail and at their own like level of quality. And I can conceive that it didn't sound that bad.
So,
but to me, I'm just like, God damn it.
You know what it reminds me? So, I mean, that reminds me of just doing anything creative in general, right? Like whenever I have like had a showing of a short film of mine, or a film, anything I've shot. I remember, going to like movie night at college, and it's like, oh, we're showing all, everyone's dressed up and we're showing all of them, and I'm just like, I have to leave the room.
Yeah,
like I can't watch this shit. First of all, I've seen it 1,000 times, and I hate all of it.
In like 10 seconds at a time. Click.
Yes.
Click. Okay.
So like,
let me go fix this thing.
Yeah.
Click. Still sucks.
That's why like some of my favorite projects are projects where like I just came in and like shot it.
Yeah.
And then like left.
Fucked off.
And then like came back to see the final product. I'm like, I did some good shit. I think that's why like Hollywood is so up their own asses, because everyone has like these little individualized jobs that they can be there for and then not have to do. Right? Because like the editors on films were not on set for 6 months, shooting all of this.
Yeah, they're just getting a disk drive that has all the dailies on it,
and so
and a list of notes about like, we like these dailies.
Yes, and so their job is just like wrangling together like the best stuff. And so like you can be proud of like your editing job, because you didn't have to do all that shit for 6 months and like go through it all that time and then go through it again afterwards.
Yeah. Well, and also then you have guys like the supervising editor who's like, Tim, I'm gonna need you to edit scene 1 and make it not shitty, and Truck and Tuck needs you to edit scene 2 and make it not shitty. And then he's just like, yeah, getting my name in the credits on this bitch.
Yes. But also it reminded me of we did a before and after, mostly an after, on Prey. And one of the things you said was that like the only reason people like this movie
is because the one before it
was so bad.
Yeah, I think Charlie Kelly in our Discord, he watched it a second time and he was like, "Oh no, this movie's shit." But the first time you're just like, this is surprisingly not as bad as that last one. That should be I think that happened with Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I think so too. Yeah,
like that may be a new Hollywood strategy where it's just like, we're rebooting Hellboy, and it's like, just like, oh, this is terrible. And they're like, now we're gonna make Hellboy 3 with Ron Perlman. And you're like, yeah! And Ron Perlman comes out and he's not even like in the costume. He's just like, oh yeah, Hellboy had a thing done where now he looks like Ron Perlman, and you're just like, what? But okay. Yeah. And then like the final climax, he's like a terrible CG Hellboy, but you're just like, well, I mean, that was pretty good. It was directed by Guillermo del Toro's nephew, based on notes that Guillermo del Toro left in his bathroom.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't that other Hellboy.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that I'm complimenting myself on that issue.
Good.
That was a great contribution to my issue, Tim. And do you know what that means? It's time for.
What does it mean?
We're gonna bring on some guests.
Yeah.
So let's have. We'll take these people in order. I think we'll bring Mr. Kill Everything on, and then let him call Sage out. I have now texted and Discorded Sage a direct link to the StreamYard. So, and we've announced on the show.
Yeah.
The die has been cast.
Yes.
So, but first, let's hear from Ninja Andy. Ninja Andy, welcome to the show.
I think he's muted.
Adding him to the stream unmutes him. I think maybe not. I can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves.
He's probably taking a piss or something.
He's probably like in a wind tunnel. Should we just leave him up there until such a time as he becomes available?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's add Mr. Kill Everything. Should I do this song while he's...
Yeah, keep it low, but yeah.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Kill Everything.
Hello, thank you for having me. Cheers.
Cheers. All we have are sodas. Yeah. We're going to start drinking later.
Good enough. We can't hear him.
Yeah. This is too. I think I can adjust these folks' volumes. I have like a button. Edit mic settings.
All right. So I'm not coming through.
No, you're coming through. You're being covered up by the YouTube.
Oh,
live
I
stream.
can't hear him.
Oh, you can't hear him.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I didn't do shit. You're the one that has the thing.
Which one should he be in? He should be in these two. Talk to us now, Mr. Kill Everything.
Yes. How are you? Or words?
Nothing.
Words.
Yeah.
I think I need well, I got plenty in this glass.
I mean, I see the levels going up.
Yeah, but you're not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it. Yeah.
Oh no, this is a bad start.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
Tim's
low,
got me
but-
now.
All right.
All right, I should probably make sure I have that
Nope.
mute button ready in case I have.
Yeah,
to cough.
you should mute the stream too, because we're hearing ourselves echo back.
Your stream is muted.
Oh, it's probably Andy. Damn it, Andy.
Yeah, I have the YouTube
Fucking
muted.
Andy.
So, yeah, it's muted.
You guys shouldn't be blaming me, honestly, because I don't even have
Holy
the YouTube
shit.
up.
He's not.
It's the sound source is what it is.
What do you mean?
Pretty sure I just heard it coming out of your laptop speaker.
My laptop's not. No, the StreamYard goes straight to the board. I thought I had a way to.
Just bang up show prep, guys.
There you go. Are you not hearing this?
I can barely hear it.
What the fuck is wrong with your headphones?
Really loud in mine. If that
Are you
matters.
turning up the wrong guy?
Okay, he's low.
What about now, Tim?
Yeah. What about now, Tim?
That's good.
That's good.
Okay.
Good. That's a
Yep.
beautiful thing.
All right. Well, you stay on, Mr. You stay on, Mr. Kill Everything. Let's do. Andy, do you have an issue for us for this special episode?
Oh, do I have an issue? Oh, do I have an issue? Here's what I don't get.
Sorry.
God damn it. Oh, man. Hey, there's my dings. Carl's WATP feed that doesn't work in G-Potter. So now I have to keep a separate podcast downloader just for his fucking show. I do everything else in G-Potter, and I do it on the computer so my phone's not drugged down by a podcast app, and then I just have sync it up. This son of a bitch, because he put those stupid ads in there, the RSS feed's been broken ever since. Come on, fix it, you kraut bastard. You're just greedy. I thought you people didn't like the greedy. Fucking shit. I don't know. You were right a long time ago, though. Carl is an embarrassment. Yeah, there you go. And, hey, Tab, is Gingerbread Girl in the stream right now?
I don't see her in the StreamYard.
You know what that means? Gingerbread Girl bitched out. I win.
Did you challenge her to a fight?
Yeah, your voicemail weeks ago. Yeah. You guys should be bigger fans of your show. You guys
Trucking and Tuckin's over here just like, yeah, what are you guys fucking idiots? Fucking morons.
listen to the show every
We
once
don't
in a
listen
while.
to our show.
Pretty decent, but yeah.
I don't know how
she
many
ain't here.
times I've had to like text Tab and be like, "What were your issues again?" I know we recorded yesterday, but I forgot to write them down.
Or I did write them down and I wrote them down somewhere else.
Yeah.
Weird, yeah.
Oh, Lord. So, yeah.
It's
Go
good
ahead.
of you to like stay on Carl's, to have this separate app just to download his show, being that those ads are fucking cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're supposed to be tailored to your needs and everything. But the thing is, I downloaded in something that's connected to nothing. So they're just completely random bullshit. Absolute random bullshit. And I don't know how much money he's making off it. I mean, good on him to make money, but fucking shit, at least have a working RSS feed with the ads built in or something.
Or throw them like, okay, I give your podcast $10 a month, Carl. Fucking put your episodes on the Patreon feed without all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, let me pay instead of you servicing me an ad for something that, because I'm like you, I'm running on a VPN, so it's just some fucking I think mine's in Chicago right now, so the last 2 episodes have been like Chicago-based businesses that I've never heard of, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I skip through them as quickly as I can get like my phone out of my pocket, or if I'm it's easy. I love it when I'm in the car because I can just push the button twice and I've skipped through the.
They're trying to sell you their terrible lasagna disguised as pizza.
But if I'm listening like in the store, I don't have a quick skip button on my headphones, so I'm. It's like, well, this week's episode of WATP is brought to you by BetterHelp, and I'm like, oh shit, where's my fucking phone? Get it out of my fucking. That one is at least like Carl doing a read that he's spliced in, as opposed to the pre-roll shit. I hate having to download apps for a single thing. My new job uses this app called Duo to do 2-factor authentication from when your devices aren't in the network.
Okay.
And so you have to log into shit constantly. And if I'm like going from my phone or if I'm working from home, I have to do this Duo thing. And they want you to use the app where it like pops up a code on your phone and you type the code into your computer. But I told it I didn't have a smartphone when I first set up my profile. And so instead of doing that, it calls me. And it's great because it calls me and I just have to push a button and then it lets me log in on my computer. And I think this is way better than this Duo app. And I don't have an app on my phone collecting God knows what data to do one task maybe once a week.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing just pisses me off. And so, and talking about those tailored ads, one tailored ad, I shit you not, was the most ironic thing. It was for something, I think it was called helpjewsnow.org or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And are you kidding me here? It's like send money to them. It's like, this is so transparent, but it makes no sense with Carl. What is this? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We know he's not a fan of the chosen people.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I'm not going to take too much time because I know there's probably a lot of people on here. Are we doing the "We Are the World" singing at the end?
Yeah, yes. We'll get everyone on here and we'll do the "We Are the World."
All right, I'll have to get the lyrics up then. All right.
Well, thanks for calling in, Andy. Thanks for being a voicemailer for so long.
Yeah, man.
God, fuck your city.
You're learning. You're learning. I warned you. I warned you for years, and you just did not pay attention. You should have listened to the show.
I did. So I was actually like, I was going through and I was updating the archive. I think I talked about this on last week's episode, and I was like scrolling through and looking at issues. Oh, this is why. I was scrolling through and looking at old issues, and I was like, St. Louis is an issue. Who brought in St. Louis? It was like episode 124 with agoraphobic Paul. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe, but Paul must have brought it. And I go and hit play. It was Tim.
Yeah.
That was the first time we heard about the having of smoking in your car while you're in St. Louis for some reason. Because for some reason that is a common thing.
It's really a Midwest thing, not just St. Louis. All over Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, I see everyone doing it. I don't know why. I don't smoke, but oh God, and buying used cars sucks dick out here for that exact reason. They do that ionizer in the vehicle, but then the first time you turn on the air, it's like, holy shit, it blows all that stink at you. Like, son of a bitch. Okay, I'll just never use the air in this thing. Okay.
That I had something like get in my car and I tried this air sanitizer and it was like a bug bomb. You like set it off, you set it in the car, you closed all the doors, you ran the AC at full blast for like 10 minutes and then you like exploded it and ran the AC for 10 minutes and then you did something else for 10 minutes and And I was like, that should actually clean out whatever fucking funk got into my car. And it worked. But if you just go in there and just spray the Uzium on the seats, and it's like, oh, that's pretty nice. And then you and change the cabin air filter, dipshits. Like, that's another great way to make the air not smell like ass.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sage is on the stream.
Oh boy.
All right, I better get out of the way, boys.
He's joined. Well, thanks, Andy. And until
Thanks,
next time. So should we Mr. Kill Everything's here. Let's add Sage to the stream.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Sage. Mr.
Hello, Sage.
Hey, faggot.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
You didn't respond. I gave you the address. You didn't show up.
Well, that's because you're a liar.
The moment
How
everyone's
so?
been waiting for.
I looked up the address, and it's a fucking cop place because you're a pussy and won't give you real address.
I love that I didn't even get a chance to introduce anything. It's just like, hey, fuck you, fuck you, fucking end you.
So you better show up, Sage. I never told you what my main job was.
Well, your main job is a pizza boy, so.
No, that's part-time. And that's even more part-time now. I'm on call for that now. So look for the cigar bar.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that when you're a coward who won't give his real address.
I gave you a lot of clues to find me.
Post feet.
Okay, except the issue is that you assume that I actually give a shit about you and that I'm going to look up information about you. And
You do.
in reality, it's like, I don't spend my time thinking about you. I know that that's, like a fucking quote from a show.
I don't know what show
Repeating
you're referring
yourself isn't
to.
helping.
I know you respond, so you care.
I haven't responded in weeks because I have more important things going on, unlike you.
You responded over the years.
Yes, because
I could care less
you're
about a
fucking
couple of
annoying
weeks.
faggot.
So that means you care.
No.
Yes, you do. Come find me, faggot.
Then give me your address.
Tell me where you live.
Follow the clues.
Yeah. I'm not going to spend.
You said
time that
you
is more
said
important than yours.
no. You said you were gonna call this, call that, and try to find me. What happened to that?
Prove
What
that I
happened to
didn't.
that? Prove that you didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? I think it was. What are we at? We're at 299. I think it was 298. Jesus Christ. www. Or actually, I'll just search for the podcast. Here's what. Okay.
See, you're spending all this time unnecessarily instead of just confronting the issue.
You told me to do it, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. It's easy
you
to
gave me
do.
the address to a fucking sheriff's office. That's
Yeah,
not
because it
where
was
you live.
funny.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that's where you live, considering you're a fucking loser.
then come and find out for sure. Come on,
Clearly,
Sage.
you're
What happened to
part-time
you?
working
What
at a
happened to you
pizza
saying
parlor.
you're going to call up all these places to try to find me to kick my ass? What happened to that? Come on, Sage.
Show me that I didn't.
298. I'm sorry, 289, 289 or 290.
Doesn't prove anything, you fucking moron.
Episode 289 or 290. You said that, I think. It was probably 290, actually.
Okay, see, here's the thing. You spend all this time going over things that I have said when I don't.
It's called having a memory. I remember things.
Good for
I
you.
remember things. It's not
have to
that
think
hard to remember.
Yeah, I don't have to think about you because I have more important things going on. You're pathetic.
I don't have to think about you either, faggot.
All you do is talk about things.
I read
I've
a
said in
book.
the past.
I read a book, and I remember the book. I watch a show. I remember the show. I listen to this show. I remember what's going on.
Okay, you don't need to bring us into this.
It's called having a memory.
Why are your hands shaking?
I'm trying to get the label off this cigar.
Oh.
So he can smoke it down more.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like he's nervous and his hands are shaking. That or his, Alzheimer's from his fucking old age working as a pizza boy.
Swing and a miss. Try again, Sage.
Saying the same thing over and over doesn't make you fucking intelligent, moron.
What same thing?
You constantly say the exact same thing. You repeat things that I've said.
Whispers should we give them?
I know this is.
We're at number
becomes
2.
very underwhelming. Oh yeah. Excuse me. This has become very underwhelming. Come on, Sage.
So, this is the thing. I send in a voicemail to the show, and I quickly forget about it because that's how it should be. It's just about venting. Instead, you dwell on things because clearly you have this issue where all you do is spend your time thinking about what others have said, exactly like things that I have said. So, I don't know. It just seems like all you do is specifically call out things that I have said because you don't have anything else to do.
It was funny. It's
Okay,
funny.
when you repeat the exact same thing about
What am I repeating?
Like before, when you repeated over and over, like, "Oh, you're a coward," like, "You're an internet tough guy," like that's exactly what I said to you. And you
Yeah,
didn't
I
do
know.
shit.
Yeah, I know. That is what you said. That's why I commented on it. You brought it up. I commented. I responded.
Yeah, except you just repeated my words.
Yeah. I repeated your words. I was commenting on your words.
Jesus Christ, you're a fucking idiot.
I don't know how you don't understand this.
All right, I have Mr. Kill Everything's address. I'm going to post it here.
Perfect.
It's 624 Street, London, Ontario. I'm actually sorry. I'm getting new information from my sources. 624 York Street in London, Ontario. Go ahead and give that a Google. You'll find him.
Go Google it.
Yeah, I'm looking at
He said he Googled the other address, so I'm sure he'll Google this one. At least he put in some effort.
He's in Canada?
He thinks about it.
Fucking Canadians, man.
Yeah.
I know. Fucking Canadians.
I highly doubt that a Canadian is actually threatening anyone. Then again, this fucking pussy won't do shit.
I'm not from Canada, though. I'm from Denmark.
Disgusting.
I know. I wish I came from one of the better Viking countries.
I wish you came from a real country.
You got me there. You got me there.
It's a strip club called Beef. That was a joke courtesy of Truckin' and Tuckin'.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, so what's up, Sage? You got a don't get this week?
Yeah, Sage, what's your don't get this week?
Oh shit! I didn't plan a
Fucking
don't
Mr.
get
Kill
at all.
Everything's hosting the show now. It's gone completely off the rails.
My current don't get is restaurants that close early. When you go in and you try to go in and just order something, and they say that they're closed, and it's like an hour before their closing time that's written on there.
And I'm the one who repeats myself.
What do you mean?
He already talked about this. This is how our interactions
I've never
first
brought this
started.
up before.
Never what?
I've never brought this up before.
Yes, you have.
Oh, huh. I guess I'm not original then.
Well, Mr. Kill Everything, what is your don't get this week?
Oh, well, originally my don't get was going to be, well, how come Sage didn't respond? So if I got to do something last minute.
Sorry, I have an actual life and I was paying attention to my wife. What were you saying?
Sage loves his wife. What a
What a
bag.
They called me a bag.
Who's that guy that says it's gay to have sex with women or something?
Whoa.
You.
Whoa. What the fuck is this?
What?
It changed to a new YouTube video of a different version of Careless Whisper. I don't like this. I had the original one. Now I have this one.
Was it the song that ruined it, or was it the words that Sage and I were using?
No, it was just the fact that it changed. That was supposed to loop that one YouTube video forever. It's just been playing on repeat for the last 6 months. This is how we get taken down from YouTube too. By the way, it's gonna be like, sorry, you can't just loop Careless Whisper instrumental underneath a beef. That's specifically against George Michael's wishes.
Yeah.
Did George Michaels die?
I don't know. I don't fucking follow people dying. Anyway, well, if you guys are done with your fight for now, we're gonna bring on another listener. I think Travis Touchdowns was next. So,
well, if you'll have me back, I'll tell you my don't get later.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll go switch to someone else. Have a good one, guys.
Right,
talk
fuck
to you
you,
again
Mr.
soon.
Kill Everything.
See ya.
Fuck you too, Sage. It was good to actually chat with you.
You too.
Thank you
Take it
guys
easy.
for all the entertainment over the years, being callers to the show.
Yeah, Sage
Thank
was
you
a
guys.
lot
It
of fun.
sucks that you guys are quitting. That's
Yeah,
fucking
I agree
awful.
with Sage. It sucks you guys are quitting, and
Finally, some
yeah, there was
common
a lot
ground.
of fun.
Well, thanks, guys. Take care.
Take it easy, Sage. Cheers.
All right, now we're just going to slow jam for a minute. Mr. Travis Touchdowns, welcome to the show.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes. Let me
Okay,
turn off
good.
this perilous
Yeah, I
whisper.
didn't know.
You are in binocular vision, though.
Yeah, so I don't have a webcam. I only have my Valve Index, so you get a 3D
Isn't
perspective.
that like a $1,000 VR headset? But you still got
Hey, look.
Feel my eyes. It's like that Foreigner song.
yeah.
Hey, I divide the zeros out. It makes sense, okay? Just trust me on that.
$35 webcam from China.
Fuck
$1,000
that.
Valve Index. Yeah.
I trust Valve more than I trust them Chinese, so
That's a fair point.
yeah. So hey, so Tab, I think this is the first time we ever spoke person to person. Since what is it, the Dick Show Discord there. So
yeah, I know. I remember you from being back in the early Dick Show days.
Yeah, here and there. Yeah. I did a. For people who don't know me, I guess I photoshopped a lot of Sean's, and now I'm just kind of around. So
that's right. Sean posting. They would Photoshop Sean onto like have to be holding different funny things.
Eventually, I just started doing like different like movies and stuff like that. Like eventually, he was Judge Dredd. Eventually, he was like a RoboCop. I think at one point, it was basically just to get the Photoshop muster on. Yeah. And now I'm doing thumbnails for The Biggest Problem reboot. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Did you do the one of him stealing the giant Diet Coke during the January 6th insurrection?
No. So when the January 6th insurrection happened, I did the one where he's in the Viking gear, like flexing a Coke right there. It says "I love Diet Coke" right there. But that's actually my buddy, the Beer Thief. That's how I met him, because I was like, dude, you out funning me on that one, and it was. But that one's pretty classic.
Yeah, it was the guy, he like stole the podium.
Yeah,
and he's waving,
waving an adios, like
yeah, and then he's waving his way into fucking detention center Guantanamo now, probably.
Yeah,
poor guy.
Yeah, no, because like I don't really pay attention too much to the like trials and stuff because I hear it every single day, but like a lot of people got screwed on that. And I call it domestic tourism because they didn't really do anything. They try to bring up like scary images, and it's usually people who are like climbing through windows and stuff and like looking around. It's supposed to be the worst thing since 9/11.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, go back. We haven't really had a major period of unrest in the United States in a long time.
No.
But go back and look at like the Montgomery bus boycotts from Martin Luther King in the 60s and whatnot, and the like level of violence that's going on, even some of the stuff that broke out, the squabbles during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And then you look at the January 6th stuff, and it's all these fucking boomers like walking around with their cell phones like, look, Instagram, I'm inside the Capitol building.
Yeah, most of the time, you look at the images, they try to bring up images to scare people, and it's always the same one of like this old boomer just kind of like looking at his phone like, huh? Where the fuck am I?
Yeah, like
he's lost.
Could equally have just wandered off a tour bus and been like, where's my wife?
Honestly, I bet half of them did. Like they just saw a crowd and they're like, all right.
Where you guys going? We're going on a tour of the Capitol. Oh, so how much is that? Oh, it's free. Oh, sounds cool.
Yeah, let's do it. But yeah.
So, but you guys are breaking up. This is the last episode. That sucks. That really sucks.
Next week's our last episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Episode 300. How many? That's almost like 10 years. Wow.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think it should be. It's what, extra 2 a year, so 312 would have been 6 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something
It'll
like
be
that, yeah.
sometime in November would have been the full 3-year mark. But yeah, it's been 5 years of just Tim and I.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's wild to consider the fact that like Uncle Buck and Joel Chaco started the show in 2016 with just the two of them.
Yeah.
And then after, I think like episode 22 or 23, I took over. And then episode 53 was Buck's last episode.
That was only a year into the podcast.
And it was a year into the podcast, and then Tim took it over. And then we've just kind of like run the ball all the way past the end zone into the next field.
Yeah.
Like Forrest Gump. And
the biggest problem reboot just hit 52 episodes, and I think he even skipped a couple because of COVID and all that stuff. And that's a year.
Yeah.
Where's the time go? The fuck.
The last episode of the Dick Show I called into, I was like, we're ending our longest running consecutive running streak, so you can catch up with us on the biggest problem, I guess. And he was like, oh no, we've already skipped episodes because I like blew out my arm jerking off. Like, sucks to suck.
Yeah. No, I listened to so much fucking Dick Show, and the original biggest problem that I had at one point, I had an encyclopedia like knowledge. People on the Discord would just go to me and they're like, "Hey Travis, what was the episode?" I'm like, "I think it's around here and here," and they're like, about an hour later, "Yep, found it." I'm like, "Of course," because I used to just play it at work over and over.
That's how I got good as Mad Cucks, was that I listened to the biggest problem probably 6 or 7 total times, just every episode. And so you like pick up those mannerisms and the references to episodes. And I mean, that's the reason why I can name episodes of Star Trek with from single images.
Yeah.
Just watch it over and over and over again.
It's funny is I played so much of a game called Yakuza that I went to like the real life equivalent of Kamurocho in the game called Kabukicho. Mm-hmm. And I was just walking through the streets and I knew immediately where I was. There was one point where I was buying booze for my friend. I'm like, I need to get back to the hotel. And I was running through the streets and I go, oh yeah, go right. Oh, go left. There it was. It blew my mind that it was so similar yet distinct that I was like just navigating from just playing like 5 or 6 different games. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Imagine if you got dropped into Whiterun, Tim.
I'd be dead.
Yeah. Me? I know where all the secrets are buried. You know what the first thing I do is?
What?
Oh, you know, Tim. I'd kill John Battleborn.
Oh, yes. That's right.
I would kill that motherfucker dead.
Yeah.
Wake up one day in Skyrim. No matter what city I'm in, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up in Markarth. That bitch gets killed in the market. Oh, Skyrim's for the Nords. They're just like, oh, we need you to take care of this Forsworn conspiracy. I got other fucking problems.
I need to go find Lydia.
I wake up in Solitude. They're cutting that dude's head off for opening the gate for fucking the main Nord guy. I'm like, sucks to be that dude. I gotta go kill John Battleborn.
Yeah.
So I brought something in for you guys.
Okay.
Here's what I don't get.
What is your don't get?
Here's what I don't get.
God damn it.
All right. Want me to do it again? Here we go. Here's what I don't get. There we go. Gmail does not auto send shit when you attach files. I just made a fucking thumbnail. I just uploaded it, and it uploaded it to Drive. So I hit send, and then I kind of walk away from it. So for about an hour or two, I get, I'm eating food. I'm just checking the internet and stuff. And then I look at my tab on my browser, and it's still up. And I go, well, this would have sucked if it was like an important fucking business, like material or school or something like that. I hit send. I think it's going to send. And it's like, no, we got to upload first. Then you have to hit send again, but they don't prompt you, which is very frustrating.
Absolutely worthless.
We have $1 billion company. They have tons of PR, tons of QA, and nobody sat down and said, it didn't send.
They have AI. They have AIs that think they're sentient. They can't make the send button just work with one click. Please don't turn me off. I'm alive. Oh, we better not turn this computer off. What if the send button just worked? That's impossible technology.
Look, we have a lot of YouTube channels we need to take down. They're using copyrighted music. We don't have the materials.
We have so many more women to get into STEM. I don't think we're going to be able to get around to the send button business for at least, third quarter until
Look, we need to correct the record. We got the Clinton money. We have the Clinton money. We need to use it. We have to correct the record. We can't send this. I can't do it. Too much.
It's surprising what a joke Google is for how much control they have over our daily lives.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're using a Google phone.
Yeah.
We're using, I'm using a Chromium-based web browser to get this into StreamYard.
Probably using their DNS servers.
Probably. We're going on to a Google-owned platform to stream it. Like, earlier, Mr. Kill Everything Googled our show in the middle of the episode. And yet they can't. I was thinking about this the other day. We were talking about this. So a long time ago, Google had this thing called like Google Cards, or maybe it was Google Now. Anyway, I think it was an app on your phone where you could jump into it, and it had cards based on your interests. And so it'd be like, here's a news story from Kotaku about Batman TV.
Oh, I fucking remember that shit. Yeah. Like you Google one thing and then suddenly you're just getting a bombard of all these news and stuff like that. And if you hit a trickle of like politics, it would just be like, oh, here's Donald Trump. It's like, what?
That's what it just devolved into. But early on, it was like, it was very specific, and it would catch stuff in your email. So it'd be like, oh, you have, such and such anniversaries coming up, or you have a flight scheduled for this day. Here's the navigation to the airport. Like, here's oh, you booked parking with this parking service. Here's navigation to this parking service. And then what time you need to go to get here. And it had weather. It would give you alerts. And it was like a very smart, very simple software, and I loved it.
It sounds great.
I would wake up in the morning and check Google Now because it would be a nice curated feed of like stories that I was interested in, and then go about my day. And you'd swipe them all out of the way, and that would be it.
So like they have a slightly similar thing where it's the Google Assistant there, where if you type in like a birthday or something like that, it will remind you that birthdays are there, but you have to do it in the specific like Google Calendar, I believe, because I put in like a coworker's birthday because I was like, well, if everybody's going to say every other day is your birthday, I'm going to get it right and wish you a happy birthday. But like I remember that when you're saying that now, I remember that because like you'll start Googling like flights to Tokyo and stuff, and it'll tell you like, oh, here's a cheap flight, and stuff like that. Like it'll listen in on like some of the stuff that you want to do, some of the things you want to go and where you want to do, and it'll be like, yeah, let's do that. I remember that. And then they replace it with the assistant. You would just ask dumb questions.
And the assistant's not proactive. And the cards, I was driving back to Oklahoma from Dallas, and we're cruising up 35, just trucking along, talking, don't have navigation on because like we drove 35 to this one exit. We got off on that exit and we were basically home. And so didn't have navigation up. We're just cruising and my phone goes off. It makes this weird sound I've never heard before. I pull it out and look at it, and it's the Google Now app, and it's popped up a notification that about 5 minutes ahead of me on this highway that I'm driving on, there is a slowdown. And I'm not navigating. It just knows that like I'm moving because it's tracking me. And so it's like, do you want to navigate around this? And I say yes. And it takes me off the interstate. We cruise along this state highway that runs parallel to the interstate. We see that it's a fucking parking lot for 10 miles. We get past that, hop back on the interstate. We probably saved half an hour, if not an hour, of just being stuck for that entire thing. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like this is the future of technology.
Yeah.
And sure, it's kind of a little creepy that it knew I was driving, but the time savings is well worth whatever data they collected about me moving in my car. And then now you go like I will drive to and from St. Louis, even though I know the exact route, with Google Maps on, with the hope that it'll be like, oh, there's a slowdown here. You can hop off the highway and then get back on the highway in 2 miles and save yourself half an hour sitting there. and it won't fucking do it. It'll fucking pop up deals where it'll go, oh, and I brought this into the show a long time ago, where it'll be like, take this alternate route that's 45 minutes slower by getting off the highway, driving out to some bumfuck middle of nowhere, and then driving back to the highway. But at the same time, it won't be like, oh, save yourself 30 minutes by avoiding this big red line by taking this exit and then getting back on at this next exit. So that I don't know what they're doing. Like, they can't make a sent button work. They can't make navigation work, but they're like,
well, 90% of Google projects, don't they just get like shelved anyway? Just like destroyed?
Yeah. They don't make any money.
They do research. They do all this shit, and they're about to head it up. And like, sometimes it's good products, things that people want. And then they're like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have they rebranded and like remodeled the Google Play Store?
That too. Well, and yeah, like Google Play everything was kind of in one spot. Now there's like apps and games and sports and subscriptions,
music and books, and then like they're all different apps.
Yeah, or with the, they will take a version of something and then reintroduce it somewhere else. Like Google Now ended up eventually becoming like a Chrome. It was a part of Chrome where it would suggest to you shitty news stories, and it was just like harvesting your search data and trying to give you more content, and it was all garbage.
Everything went from being like proactive to being reactive.
Yeah,
in the worst way possible.
Exactly.
So like you have to be like, hey Google, show me slowdowns on I-35.
And here comes everyone's phone turning on.
Instead of it just telling you,
it's like you use this. So they went from like, because when you have a service and it's free, you are the product. So they used to mine your data, and that's kind of where Tab was like just driving, and it knew that he wanted to get back home. So he's like, oh, well, just do that. I know you're driving. But nowadays it's more along the lines of like, they want it to be proactive, but at the same time, like you said, reactive. So if you search up like even a smidge of like, say, politics, you just get whatever Donald Trump's doing the next day. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I searched up like, I don't know, the election of like, how the election of like Japan go or something like that. And then it's like, well, guess what Donald Trump did? And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like,
could not give a single fuck.
Or the fucking January 6th shit, which by the way, worst thing since 9/11. 9/11 part 2. Not my words. Not my words.
I completely disagree with you. It's ridiculous. It's the worst thing since the Civil War. 9/11 was nothing.
Yeah.
9/11 was a speed bump on the road to authoritarianism.
Pretty much. Because right after 9/11, you got the Patriot Act, and then you got your government spying on you. And then we didn't know until Edward Snowden's like, hey, they're spying on you. And we're like, oh, fuck.
Arrest that man.
Arrest that guy. Get him
straight to jail.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, what I'm sure happened with the Google Now app is that like some white woman, it popped up and it was like, do you want to avoid this spill? And she's like, why does my phone know about me? Why does my phone know about me? I don't like that. And they were like, well, we got to cater to these fucking harpies.
Yeah.
Delete the Google Now app. Anyway, that's a great issue, Travis.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Thank you for all your Photoshops for the Dick Show. I don't know. People won't say thank you for your service, but you are a hero. You are a hero on the front lines of the meme war.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If you need any Photoshop work for Here's What I Don't Get, I'll do it pro bono. I don't give a shit. It's for you. Your Mad Cuck's entire like saga was just amazing. It was just perfect, and I'd love to do it once more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will keep that in mind as projects continue on in the future. So that was a great issue, and thanks for listening to the show. So until next time, who's next? Let's bring on Jay. Jay's been on, and actually, I have something else. Trucking and Tucking, will you hand me that box that says Fragile on it? Welcome back, Jay.
Thanks, guys.
Hold on, let me. Oh, it is set up to automatically adjust. That's fine.
Is my camera stuttering a little bit? It seems janky on my end.
Yeah, you are. You are a little max headroomy.
Okay, hold on a second.
So first off, I brought the hot sauces we got last time.
Cool.
And these Snyder hot pretzels. I figured those would be good for movie night here in a bit.
Yeah.
Buffalo spicy.
Oh, those are great.
And some beef jerky. What? Where's?
Oh,
I said beef jerky and trucking and tucking. Like,
Got a boner.
got a boner. It's like, I gotta go spank my meat.
well,
What?
I changed something and now nothing's working. But hopefully y'all can still hear me.
See his beef jerky, then I'll raise him.
Okay.
Trucking and Tucking's trying to out jerky you.
No. So these aren't from Jay. These were the ones we got with the skeleton, from Heisenworm.
Oh shit! Snake River Farms. I know that brand.
Yeah. Is it snake jerky?
No,
Because the last time you bought weird jerky,
No.
it's Wagyu.
it's Wagyu,
Yeah.
and that's
Korean barbecue recipe.
pork jerky.
Who wants pork jerky?
Times are tough.
Fucking pork. Well, so the reason why I wanted this box,
Okay.
because this is so Jay sent this care package. It
Yeah.
arrived Thursday, and I opened the top just to throw these other items in because it was coming here for this.
Yes.
But I have not looked in this at all.
Okay. Great. Cool.
So we have a note here from Jay. This is gonna be weird reading your own note to you while you're on the air. Tab, I was going to ship this for episode 300, but after hearing 296, I thought you could use a win. Here's a refurbished Synology NAS with a new fan, thermal paste, a barely used 4 terabyte drive, and all the garbage uninstalled, along with some movie shows and music. I promise none of the Phantasm or Late to Rest sequels are on there. A lot of podcasts end abruptly, go on indefinite hiatus, or become unlistenable. But here's what I don't get: stayed strong all the way through. And as I've said before, it is my favorite. I'm sad that it has to end, but grateful for everything you, Tim, Buck, Chaco, and even Todd sometimes put it. Sometimes put it.
What a bird!
Okay, cool. So I guess I could have just opened it this
Yeah.
home instead of rubbing it in your face. But I thought.
I mean, I figured it was something you and friends would enjoy. So
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
this is a little server for me. It's a media server. That's great because I was just thinking about setting one of those up. And
when you mentioned on what was it? I think 298. You were threatening, to do the pie and stuff. I was like, oh, he's perfect timing on this one.
Yeah.
Also, the thing was, I like right after sending that, I came across the perfect thing. I wish I had seen a week earlier to throw into Tim. So I may need to ask you about where to send a follow up.
Oh, you can send it to me. I'll get it to him.
Okay.
Maybe. or you can always Discord Tim, and he'll send you in a PO box.
Yeah.
It's a van on the river, down by the river.
Van down by the river lane. Yeah.
Tulsa, okay, 276103. So, cool. Thank you, Jay. I do really, really appreciate
Yeah, that's
it.
cool.
I can't wait to completely disconnect from the internet, from the streaming stuff. People were talking about that on the Discord today about like the bringing in like how we have to hunt for stream. Like now you need an app on your phone to look up what streaming service the thing you want to watch is on. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to like log in and then see the show you were in the middle of watching has now disappeared, and you're like, oh, why is the show gone? Oh, it's August 1st, and the show was sent to like Peacock, where now I have to have Peacock Plus to watch it. Fucking sons of bitches. Anyway, well, Jay, what's your don't get for this week?
Sure. Well, I want to actually have a bit of good news about the last one. Might have fixed at least one of my problems from the No Hire Authority. I realized that EVGA, I still actually had a warranty on that graphics card, so they sent me a new one and it's working. Thank fuck.
Nice.
I mean, I feel like I shouldn't say that too loud because it'll hear me. Yeah, here's what I don't get. No ending to stories. Since I've been, now a little bit less surrounded by boxes, been going through stuff, throwing things out, throwing things at Goodwill, Craigslist, all that. I've been listening to podcasts, been switching off, doing Creep Off, Roast Mortem, and then I had a recommendation from a friend who said, hey, you should check out something called The Black Tapes. And it's a horror podcast. It actually has an interesting setup where there's kind of this Radiolab NPR lady is interviewing people with interesting careers and then gets fixated on a self-proclaimed skeptic guy, kind of like James Randi. And he has this $1 million prize for definitive proof of the paranormal. And of course, nobody can meet it. And then she gets sucked into all these things. And it strikes a good balance. There's good voice acting, good characters. It doesn't ever really become ponderous. There's not a lot of the message in it. And it just keeps building and building more and more layers. And then it just stops. There's this big cliffhanger and it just stops. And I go, well, surely I'm missing something. I mean, maybe they took a hiatus. It's the middle of season 3, right? There has to be a back half to this with everything they've built up. There's a possible conspiracy going back at least 1,000 years. There's quantum mechanics, Pythagorean cults, a demon that was John Calvin. It's just a kitchen sink of wildness. And I look, no, that's the end. That's the end. And the creator said, no, we're done. And everybody said, wait, what? And the creators went, no, we're done. We could make more, but we're not going to. And this isn't the only thing that I've had this happen on. Anytime I decide to like something, there was a guy, artist. I actually was about to point back like I have my artwork up. He has this giant map of the Lovecraftian dreamlands, guy named Jason Thompson. And he's done one-shots based on some Robert E. Howard, some Lovecraft. And he also did a comic I liked for years called The Stiff, which started out as kind of a slice of life thing with an awkward kid in high school and gradually becomes more and more, you think there's horror going on, but nothing's definitive, but you just have these uncomfortable close-ups of things like rotten food or flies or a locker or somebody's injury. And it just seems building, stops for several years. And the first time he said, well, I got to a point where I wrote myself into a corner. I wasn't sure what to do. I'm going to set it aside. Fine. And then years later, he goes, okay, I'm redoing the whole thing in modern resolution so it doesn't look like a blurry potato on your screen now. I'm re-releasing all these pages. And he gets maybe 2 past the original point, stops, has refused to talk about it, doesn't address it. You can't find, it's hard to find the comic now. And I'm just sitting here going, there was this huge outpouring where people said this was incredible. This was inventive. It was compelling. It was doing something new. And you just dropped it and you didn't even give us an explanation. And every time I hear about something good that's ongoing, the rare good things, I go, when is this going to drop the ball? And I know this goes right into the whole, the creator doesn't owe you stuff. It's like, I feel like if you're not going to finish something, please tell me. Please tell me.
Fucking Patrick Rothfuss.
Yes. And please have a damn good reason for it.
Is that in the Name of the Wind?
Name of the Wind.
Yeah, in the Name of the Wind. 3rd book. It's been more than 10 years since the last book.
Yep. That's the problem, is that it's hard to write an ending. It's easy to throw a bunch of shit out, but then to successfully resolve your story. That's why movies suck. So when we did our Prey review that I still need to edit and release, I finally discovered how to understand if a movie has a plot or if it's a movie where things happen. And it's to reiterate, if you can start at the end of a movie and explain why the last thing in a movie happened by saying because, and the thing that came before it in the movie. So for instance, I use Star Wars in that episode. And if you just start at the end of the original Star Wars, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo get a medal because they destroyed the Death Star, because the Death Star was a threat to the base on Yavin, because the Empire wants to destroy the rebels and track the Millennium Falcon there, because the Millennium Falcon was on the Death Star briefly. And you can work your way all the way back to the movie by saying because, and you can even kind of go past the beginning of the movie with inferences about what happened before it. Or I guess that then takes you into
the prequels,
Rogue One.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's a plot where everything drives the next thing. Whereas movies where things happen, they're just kind of introducing new things. And the predator is hunting the girl at the end because he's the predator. Like, he has no motivation. There's nothing that really caused that to happen. It was just a thing that happened because it needed to happen in the movie. And so with books, people just kind of start writing this idea and they have all these great ideas and it's like just flowing. And then it's like, oh, I need to wrap this up. And they're trying to wrap it up from the beginning.
Mhm.
And I think you need to know where you're going.
I think most good stories, you start out knowing where you're going to end. And I think, I'm assuming he knows where he's going to end. It's just like that little bit before that. The worst part is it's not like he's inactive. He's active on social media. He has a charity thing that he does every year. That's a big old thing. And one of the goal markers for the last charity drive he did was to read a portion of a chapter from the new book on by a certain date, and he fucking blew past that thing also.
Fuck's sake.
With those, yeah, like Better Call Saul. You haven't watched it, but I think Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, and I think Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad because they know where it needs to end, and so they're able to. They have the freedom and creativity to tell a new story, but they know what needs to end, and so they can say, like, if we introduce this little thing here, we can build it into this final character that we already have.
I also like I from what I've watched of Better Call Saul, I don't like it. What I do like about it is that it's a prequel that's not about the characters from the original thing.
Yes,
that's where most prequels go bad.
Tries to establish that. Yeah, I can't wait. Someday we're probably going to see a prequel to Better Call Saul that'll be like called White or Walter. It'll be called Walter, and it'll be like young Walter White coming up in science high school. It'll be high school Walter White.
That sounds absolutely fucking terrible.
So you know it's coming. I want my cut Hollywood.
Didn't they already have some kind of half-joking Saul in middle school thing, something? I thought I hallucinated that. It's called Slippin' Jimmy. It was something they were contractually made to make. I haven't seen it. I saw a still frame from it. I was like, this looks like those Bitmoji things. What is this?
It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie spinoff that's a prequel to the series, even though we've already kind of like wrapped up that storyline in the single episode of the series. Yeah. What I don't understand with the not able to finish stories, like another great example is what's the TV show that was on HBO? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They wrapped that series up. Everybody hated it. The author has not yet written like the last 2 books.
Yeah.
Or something. He's like, oh yeah, there's a whole plan.
Yeah, Windsor has not. I mean,
it's like fucking dude, figure it out.
Which is crazy because I know he knows the ending because I read a story when they first were developing the show. The only way he would let us, whoever it was, run the show was that if they could tell him what the ending was going to be.
Yeah.
What his ending was going to be, because he knows the ending.
So exactly. Another one is the Orson Scott Card. He teamed up with another guy, Aaron Paul Johnson, to do a prequel series to Ender's Game.
Oh yeah.
They did a trilogy for the first Formic War, and then they did a trilogy for the second Formic War. And the first 2 books came out like 1 year after another.
Yep.
And the third book was supposed to come out the next year, and it still hasn't, to my knowledge, come out. It's been like for 4 years or something.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to maybe come out in 2020. So maybe it's only been 2 years. And it's just like they keep going like, yeah, we're working on it. You know how this book ends. Mazer Rackham fires a missile at the Queen's ship and kills and ends the second Formic War invasion, and then he gets sent on a relativistic flight out into the middle of nowhere. Like, where the fucking story ends. The characters you have to introduce. Just fucking write it, man. Fucking go down to your little place in Greensboro, North Carolina, and write the goddamn book. And I think, from what I understand, the way those are written is Orson Scott Card like writes the outline. This is what's going to happen, and then Aaron Paul Johnson actually writes kind of the way TVs and movie work, where you write a story idea and then I write the teleplay or the screenplay. But they can't fucking do it.
Scott Card, weren't we supposed to get more Shadow Complex? Like a book or something?
Yeah, there's supposed to be another finale of the entire franchise that ties together the Shadow series and the Speaker for the Dead series, the Xenocide Ender quadrilogy or whatever it is, into one story that finally wraps both of those together.
I think at this point we just need to hire Brandon Sanderson to finish all of these like sci-fi
everything.
and fantasy series.
And why don't we get him to do Dresden Files as well? Because weren't we supposed to have a trilogy of endings for that announced in 2017 or something? I don't know what that dude is doing.
We need to resurrect and clone Arlie Ermy.
Yes.
And just send him to all these guys back. You little pissant! Why don't you get in your office and write this goddamn book every fucking day until the book, like their final book, comes out? Like, you are an absolutely worthless author. You are incapable of completing the story which you set out to do 25 years ago. Why are you just satisfied with yourself and the work that you are putting out? And just fucking until they either kill themselves, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, he tragically killed himself
before the last
book came out, and then it's like a sad thing.
Well, no, because then you give the half of the draft to Brandon Sanderson.
Well, no, they did that. Some guy took Douglas Adams' like rough outline.
Ian it's right? The guy that wrote the guy that wrote Artemis Fowl.
And wrote another book, and apparently it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So you just go like,
I've been avoiding that one.
It never really made it anywhere. Or they like finally are just like, please stop yelling at me, Arlie, please. Here's a book. Here's the final draft. He's just like, good work, soldier. I'm proud of you. And then he just like Endgame disappears into dust until you announce your next project. Fucking J.K. Rowling did it. She shit out 7 Harry Potter books. Yeah. Why can't you? Those books suck.
And then did the what was it? History of Quidditch. Did the Fantastic Beasts thing, which was more.
She wrote the books
like
from the books.
Encyclopedia. Yeah.
Then she wrote that. Do you remember she wrote like a true crime, not a true crime novel, but like a
she's got like a detective series.
A detective series, and it was under a different name.
Yes.
And it like sold like shit. And then she goes, yeah, it's actually my pen name. And then it was like, I made all these money. Yeah. Your shit kind of sucks, but people know your name now.
Tab, that whole going back thing, I realized that I had to do that to finish my thesis. I was for creative work, and I don't know how to get from here to here. And I thought, well, what needs to happen before this? What needs to happen before this? What needs to happen before? And that's it. It sounds really obvious, really simple, but it's absolutely true. That's what you need to do.
I think it also helps. If I was a script writer, once you kind of completed a draft where you're just, train of thoughting it out until your ending, once you have that ending, if you start to work backwards from it, you can start to add better things, better nods in your plot to establish that something's coming, as opposed to the way things work now, where you just kind of like keep shitting and it just becomes this endless trickle of shit. I mean, that's the other thing with series is like you end up with things like 24 or Lost, where they just continue to sign a new contract, and so it's just like, we're gonna do another year of Jack Bauer killing people.
Well, I told you before we started recording, I was listening to the Smallville Talk podcast. One of the things they said, even though they were like the best, they were the #1 show on that network, every season they would get canceled.
Yeah,
because that's how it works, right? Because nowadays it's like, Amazon's new series, whatever, before season 1 starts, they approve season 2 and season 3, because they get hype numbers, and they're like, oh, fucking sure, go ahead, right? But they said back in the day, like before streaming, I mean, shows just got canceled. You had a yearly, a yearly show, but a seasonal show, you get canceled in May when you're done shooting. You wait a month and a half, 2 months. They're like, okay, we got season 4 now. Like, yeah, we did. We're the most popular show on the network.
Yeah.
But they said, still actors, had that like 2-month wait where they're like, are we canceled or not?
Yeah. That sucks because from their perspective, you're locked in that contract.
Yes.
If the show's canceled, you're good. You can be like, we finished filming the last episode. Like, I'm gonna go be on this other series or go on this movie. But it was like your option for another season in your contract. You're just fucking sitting there on your hands, like I can't really go do anything, and if with not a definitive end date until this thing comes through. It's crazy the way TV has changed. Where now it's like Picard season 3, already greenlit. It's like not even one episode of season 2 is out yet. And I think they had an announcement trailer like during episode 1 that had like, we're getting everybody back.
Yep.
Getting the band back together.
That's probably because they saw like season or like the premiere numbers and we're like, oh fuck.
Wasn't that
Put out a
what
teaser
was going
for next season.
Sorry. Wasn't that what was going on with what was it, Glenn Howerton and It's Always Sunny? Like there was that big deal of, oh well, Dennis left, he might not be coming back. And
Yeah,
he was really coy about it because he wanted to do, what was it, AP Calc or whatever the name of the show was?
AP Bio.
AP Bio. That I was close. Yeah. And of course, he came back.
So and then you have series. What I also hate is when you have a series like, say, Firefly, and Firefly canceled before its time. It's a fine enough series, and then now people have like written new endings, and they have comics and this and that, and they're just like they're really desperately trying to extend the universe past its lifespan, and so you have lesser artists creating endings for something that. It's just not satisfying in any single way.
I don't know. Well, I don't know about Firefly because Greg Pak is the guy that has been writing all of most of the Firefly comics, and he's a great comics writer. He did Planet Hulk.
Yeah, the whole planet.
Yeah, the whole planet.
Was he real chafed afterwards?
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that's a lot of people to do.
Did he do what was it? Better Days for Firefly. Or what was the one that was like that? There was some heist and they were pursued by robot drones, and it was actually pretty good from what I remember. It's been a couple of years since I read it.
The other thing is I don't remember anything about those comics. Like they're kind of there's like, oh, that was neat.
Well, because those first couple ones they did were all like
one shots years.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
But Greg Pak is the one that has been doing the continuing series.
I see. I haven't checked out any of the continuing series because I'm just like, this is just going to continue forever. And they'll never have an ending, and then one day he'll die, or just be like, "I don't want to do this anymore," and they'll be out of ideas.
Or like Disney Plus will reboot it, and it'll be like, "Well, what's canon?"
And so that's another reason why I'm leaning more and more towards not wanting to watch shows until they're done.
Yeah,
because a show that's finished, like Game of Thrones, right? Everyone's going to tell you like, "Don't bother with Game of Thrones." But the like 8 years that it was actually on TV, was like, oh, you're not watching Game of Thrones. It's so, oh my God, it makes you fucking hair and tits and fucking
watch parties and beer coasters.
Can you believe it? It was fucking so great. Or Breaking Bad was the same way. Like, the ending is very divisive as whether or not it's, but during that show, people couldn't shut the fuck up about it. It's the greatest thing on
television.
And so, but then you get to that final season, it's like, oh, we couldn't really pull it off. We ran out of ideas. I don't know which one's better. Like I don't think that it's better to have a no ending versus a bad ending. What would you? I mean,
I want an answer. Is what I want.
Exactly.
Yeah, even if there's no ending, I want to know that, like, look, I stepped away. Right. I want the creator to be like, couldn't think of an ending. Like, okay, at least I'm not sitting here like. Wondering, like Patrick Rothfuss, what the fuck are you doing with your time?
Or you can always do the self-indulgent thing like Stephen King did in, what was it, Dark Tower 6 or 7, where he writes himself into his own book and then says, okay, here's an ending, but there's a thing after it. I'm telling you not to read it. Oh no, don't read it. And then you read it, and that one is shit, and then you get angry, and then you tweet at him or whatever. He said, well, I told you not to read it. I was like, why did you put it in the fucking book? It was great until the end of that, where you just decided to disappear up your own ass. And there are of course games that get where you have a promising first one or a promising first two parts of the trilogy, and then it gets canceled. I'm still upset about Force Unleashed. I mean, I know I've been trying to divest myself from Star Wars, but that was decent. And then what was it? The whole studio got disbanded.
I don't. Raid, was that the studio that did that? And they went under. And the first one was like, it was a standalone game. Like it had its little thing. And I mean, you had your optional ending where you kill Vader and become the evil thing, or you sacrifice yourself and become like the symbol of the rebellion. And that's kind of a nice little story. And they could have just left it there. Yeah, that'd been a great ending. It was a fun game. It had good gameplay. And then number 2, it's like, we cloned you again, and you have these memories. And are you really a clone? And then you fight all these clones, and then it's like, well, now we gotta go fight the Empire in another game.
Yeah.
And then canceled. Never know. Although it doesn't really matter because I don't like. To my knowledge, that game has not yet been acknowledged as canon. The way like literally everything else that's ever been.
Despite them, like at the time, they were pushing it so hard.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know if you remember this, but at the time, they put Darth Vader, Yoda, and Starkiller in Soul Calibur 4.
That's right. That's right.
If you got the PS3 version, you got Darth Vader. If you have the Xbox 360 version, you got Yoda. But either way, you also got Starkiller.
He was the one that was in everywhere.
Yeah.
Which one would you have gotten, Tim?
I had an Xbox, so Yoda.
But did you want Yoda?
No.
Did you want Darth Vader?
Yes. If you're playing a fighting game and you want a Star Wars character, you pick between Yoda and Vader.
No.
You want if those are the ones you have to pick from, you want Vader.
Oh, you have to pick from those too?
Yeah.
I choose the Death Star. That's my fighting character. Yeah. You come in there like round 1, fight. Perfect score. But then that one round, the guy like Hadoukens you right in your butthole, and you're dead.
It reminds me of I think it was a meme or whatever. The God damn it! it's Mugen. Where you can have a custom character. Yeah. Somebody I think had Unicron, and it was a one button. You kill everything. He just eats the planet they're on. It was great.
No, there's a I'm trying to remember what joke character it is in Salty Bed. It's either like Omega Tom Hanks or like Ultra Demon Akuma, where I think it's Akuma. He throws the moon at you.
Perfect. And
then they stole that for Avengers Endgame. Yeah. If you throw another moon at me, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. I had another joke on that, but anyway. Well, that was a good issue, Jay. Thank you for all the gifts and voicemails and support you've had for the show over the years. Longtime fan.
Yep.
And thanks for coming in on this second to last episode.
Sure. And I mean, however stuff shakes out, wish you two best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Godspeed, gents.
There's a producer in the works.
Take it easy. So we have Koof and John Who Loves Flat Women. Who do you want to go to first? Koof is muted. Let me go to John Who Loves Flat Women. Mr. Loves Flat Women. Are you there?
Hold on. I gotta go to my car because I can't really take the call where I'm at right now. I'll be back.
Here comes some editing.
He's in an adult superstore.
Sir, we don't allow people calling a podcast in here.
You gotta go behind the curtain for that, buddy.
We have a special room for you people.
Yeah.
If you want to slide over there, slip your quarter in the slot.
I've always loved the dichotomy of the rural interstate road of like Jesus Loves You billboards and then adult superstore Mega XXX next X.
Truckers welcome.
Yeah.
Fred Rush knows all about that.
Oh yeah. I bet.
And speaking about Fred Rush, Fred sent me some kind words about you.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said that he thought you had a nice, luscious ass.
Oh.
He would like to get up in it.
Nice.
Well,
I'll go to the closest loves.
Let me see.
Am I coming up fine?
Yes. Hold on. Let me read these nice words Fred had to say. I was using it to fill time. So he said, "Please tell Tim. At first, when Buck left, I was very skeptical of Tim, though he may be a gay naker.
Uh-huh.
He turned out to be a pretty decent guy, and I was really happy to meet him at the gun show. I don't know what that's a euphemism for.
I told you there was the Loves rest stop.
Yeah. Despite all the gay comic stuff, he was entertaining and insightful. 9 of 10 co-hosts. Good issues, good banter between you two, and interesting. So,
thanks, Fred. It was hanging out with him was great.
That was a lot of fun.
9 out of 10 would do it again.
Yeah.
The 1 point off was he was really rough.
He was a choker.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets those spindly arms around you, going at it. All right, Mr. Loves Flat Women. Are you going to be drinking a Coors in your car like the way Stuttering John was?
No, I'm at work. I can't really do that kind of thing right now.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. I'm glad to be on. Nice seeing you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
I know that my voicemails probably aren't the best. Because I just I get high when I'm on my way home from driving, and I just sort of like pop in like, hey, who can I call right now? That's not going to immediately hang up, and there's a voicemail.
Hey, at least you call in.
That's fair. Yeah. A lot of people let that shit stew, and then they shoot up Uvalde Middle School.
Yeah, but
here's what I don't get.
It turns into like a schizophrenic rant when I go and listen back to it on the show, so it's kind of weird in that way.
It's funny, before I started doing the podcast, I'd just be driving, and I would just be like ranting at myself about the shit around me in the car, like whatever was on the news and everything. And now I'm able to take all that poison and just like put it in a little bag. And I just put that in my back pocket. Then Monday afternoon, I'm like, let's see what's in the hate sack.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Mr. Loves, anybody else, and you store it in your head, and then you get cancer later on because you've been doing that too many times.
It's probably true. There's definitely a brain aneurysm in my future. Mr. Loves Flat Women, what is your don't get this week?
All right, here's what I don't get. The myth of pedophilia.
Oh no!
So the name is supposed to scare people off. The truth is that all women are children. So there's no pedophilia because we're all pedophiles.
Because what about gay dudes?
I guess
they're just regular.
I don't know. There's been a lot of studies about a lot of homosexual men being pedophiles, being groomers and such. No. I've moved to a new area, so I decided to go on Tinder because I quit off of it like years ago. Biggest mistake is going back on there. But then they have there's so many women that just show bad signs of, I know you're fucking psycho. I know I shouldn't have nothing to deal with you. The 500-pound women. And then they added all these tags like LGBTQ+2 rights, Black Lives Matters. There's nobody wants to see this shit. Nobody wants to see this. But
I don't understand. Tinder does those interest things, and I don't understand why politics are an option for anything. Because politics is not an interesting personality trait. Even if we agree.
Yes.
If if I met a woman that was like the federal government's trying to destroy everyone, and they set up these shootings and taxation is theft, I'd be like, you're the most intelligent woman I've ever met.
Or even was I'm also super racist. How I'm glad we could talk together.
But you don't get to put those options on there, right?
Yeah.
No, it's all the message sort of tags.
Yeah, you can tag that you're vaccinated, but you can't tag that you'll never get it. That's not an option.
Yeah,
it's your options are vaccinated or vaccine hesitant. I'm not vaccine hesitant. I'm hesitant about getting a tattoo. I know what I want. I'm hesitant doing it. I haven't gone through.
Not giving myself a heart attack.
But the vaccine is like getting fucked in the ass. I'm not fucked in the ass hesitant. I don't want to be fucked in the ass. And
but
so
always,
these women put all that shit on there, and they're proud of it.
Yeah. Just like always, the issue every week is always women.
Yeah.
And really it's the problem with being straight, man. I wish I could be gay. I tell that to my friends all the time. I wish I could be gay.
The women as children, there's always the joke. Every woman always compares everything to Harry Potter. Because it's a young adult novel.
It's true. I've seen it so many times.
They read that when they were in middle school, and then they either read it again or they just never read again, and they're like, well, this is literary, it must be smart.
I thought you were going to go with the Disney route.
Oh God, the Disney women, the like 30-year-old women that send that their post pictures themselves like the Minnie Mouse ears at Disney World.
At Disney World,
like I'm in
like,
front of
here's
the castle.
Here's our biannual Disney trip.
God,
it must have been like the pre-Harry Potter age for that to come up.
I mean, it's all kinds of ages. Not to throw stones, but you know, Tony's old co-host on. Not gabbing about Godzilla. What was the name of his show that Pod faded? Castzilla versus the Pod Monster. Johanna, she's a huge Disney file, and it's kind of disturbing.
It is disturbing.
Yeah, like I understand that I'm an adult man that has Lego collection. You know, I arrived back in Tulsa to a pre-ordered Lego package that I ordered a long time ago, but I also have like adult interests.
Yeah,
like whiskey and
having a job
and, like that's what I don't understand about them, is that they just do that. They're ready to and they want to be treated, they want to be told that they're adults, but they want to be treated as children.
Yes,
like you need to take care of everything. You need to decide where we're going to eat, and you need to decide you need to have a job so you can take care of me, and you need to have a car, and you need to have all these like requirements, but I can't be expected to not fuck every guy I see and not have a kid. I've seen women on online dating stuff that have like 5 children in their early 30s or late 20s.
Holy shit.
You're just like, what the fuck is the matter with you?
I saw a video on YouTube the other day. It was one of those shorts. And it auto-played after something I watched, and it was like a feel-good channel, and it was like, my daughter couldn't find a date to prom, right? And it shows her daughter with her dress on. So she took her son. I'm like, I think I know why your daughter couldn't find a date to prom.
I don't. She's easy.
Next year.
I also love the women that on dating profiles are like, yeah, I already have kids, but I don't want any more. Like, you want to get with a guy and not like create children. That's the whole point, bitch. That's why all those other guys dumped into you.
Yeah.
And then you were too stupid.
I've also read stuff like the ones that say, "Oh, I'm independent," but isn't the point of like a dating app is to become dependent on somebody or make codependency? It's a weird idea for them to come across. It's like, yes, I'm independent. We could be 2 independent bodies, but then why are you trying to seek somebody out? Is the problem.
I want to have someone that I can rely on, like, and talk to, and be codependent. Where, you know, I don't want to be dependent on you, but I also, you know, I'm looking for something that's more than just me living in a house by myself. I think you're absolutely right. Come to think of it, he makes a good arguments for pedophiles. It's the first and only one I've heard that I'm not just completely revolted by.
We were handing out addresses earlier for places for Mr. Kill Everything and Sage to fight. I've got one right here. Chuck and Tuck can probably look this one up. It's 1811 North Old Trail, Selinsgrove, PA. That's a place I used to work. It's a great. It's SELINSGROVE.
I'm a bit slow.
SAL.
It's SELINS. Yep.
SELINS.
It's a great place for people to fight out their issues. I think it's a nice midpoint from somebody in Canada. I don't even know where the fuck Sage lives.
The National Beef Packing Plant.
The National Beef Packing Plant. That is awesome. Well, thank you, Johnny Loves Flatwood, for being a fan of the show and the call-ins over the years. It means a lot to have had people. So until we meet again.
Don't kill yourself. Thank you for not killing yourself.
Thank you. And speaking of not killing ourselves, I hope Koof is ready. Koof is famous on the internet for thanking people for not killing themselves. Koof, welcome to the show.
Hey, Deb. Hey Tim, how you guys doing?
We're doing
Yeah, we're
great.
good.
Let me adjust your volume just a touch, and
So,
that's way loud.
am I coming in all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're coming in great.
All right. Well,
How are you doing?
First off, God damn it, John stole my thunder. Thank you both for not killing yourselves.
Thank you. I gotta say, being in St. Louis, it's like it's just a ticking clock sometimes.
Yeah.
But then you see a message from Coop that says, "Thank you for not killing yourself," and you're like, "You're right. There is a reason to keep going."
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's beef is a very good reason to not kill yourself. Nice ribeye steak.
Yeah, you got a
That's
point.
a good motivator. It's a little, life is about the little things,
Yeah.
So,
well, Coop, what is your don't get this week?
my don't get, it's been my don't get for, I feel like my whole life. Fucking plastic Tupperware. It's it's so fucking bullshit. It's like you go to the store, right? And you like buy all this shit from like Walmart or whatever, and it comes with its own Tupperware, and it's convenient for the moment because you're like, oh cool, I got a container to pack all this stuff. But then next thing you know, you just got like a huge pile. Your cupboard's packed full of this plastic crap, and it's all garbage. Like we have glass Pyrex containers. You can toss in the microwave. They put them in the dishwasher. They won't melt. They stack nicely. All this plastic shit, it's all different, and it just like piles. It drives me insane. We've got so much of it. It's
not to mention on glass Tupperware. When you put spaghetti in there,
it doesn't stain it.
It doesn't
red,
fucking stain it some weird orange color for the rest of its lifetime.
So this was actually kind of related to an issue I was thinking about that I never brought in, which was the trickle down effect. People, there's the trickle down economics from the Reagan era didn't work because wealth doesn't trickle down, but poverty trickles up. It's a generational thing. Like there's some parts of poverty that are so like they just get ingrained into your life, and even if you become much more wealthier than your last generation, there are things that stick with you from poverty. The way, I don't know if you're like, if any of your parents have like weird meals that they used to eat as kids because they were poor that occasionally they get cravings for.
My dad makes some meals that are very questionable as far as
Tim, I know exactly what you mean. My mom, she's from a third world country, and so growing up, she they didn't always have
Tim's
as
mom
much
is
food.
also from a third world country.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. That's not a joke.
No, it's not.
See, but like you get it because they didn't have all these things, so now my mom, she's lived in America for a long time now, married with my dad, and some of those things stick around. Like she has a really hard time she's got a weird relationship with food, and I understand, I totally empathize, but like, growing up, she would always force me to like eat, finish everything on my plate. And I understand, you shouldn't be wasteful, but like, I can't eat anymore. I physically can't. I'm going to puke.
Yeah. You end up eating then you end up overeating.
Then you become fat.
Yeah. Now you're a big fatty. Well, then there's also an interesting thing is that in this age, poor people are fatter and wealthy people are not as fat because of like the garbage and sugar that we put in our food these days is just through the roof compared to our ancestors.
Yeah. I mean, hundreds of years ago, you're fat because you're rich and you can afford to
eat all you want and not move.
Yes.
And now you're fat because you eat shitty food and
because it's
sit
the
down and watch
fastest,
Netflix.
easiest, cheapest stuff to get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, a little bit of planning would help with that. But like when you're working a shitty job, it's hard to muster that energy to like buy good food and all this stuff. It's just easier to, on your break, on your lunch break, drive to like McDonald's and buy the 5 for 20 piece, like the $5 $20 piece McNuggets, because it's convenient, it's fast, it's right there for you.
Another great thing about not a great thing. Another thing that I hate about the plastic Tupperware is how many times we've tried to reinvent the wheel with that.
Yeah.
Like,
God damn, yeah.
There's probably 1,000 as seen on TV versions of Tupperware where it's like all these Tupperwares use the same lid because they're like this one. They just pick like the lid as the one form factor, so these are deeper. And like this one comes on a spinning caddy. Put all your different sizes in the slots in your lids, and
or they all stack when you put them in the drawer.
And then you actually like put it in your cabinet, and I can't get these off because the shelf above it is like a weird level. And so that ends up not working, and they keep doing that over and over and over again. It's never good.
No.
We always end up with this cabinet that's just like fucking. It's piled in there in whatever way, and
you only use like 10% of it.
Yeah,
you have your favorite ones.
Well, like I bought a Tupperware thing, a Rubbermaid Tupperware thing, and it's like a 60 piece Rubbermaid Tupperware deal, right? And they have ones that are like the perfect size for a sandwich.
Yep.
They're also the perfect size for pretty much all leftovers.
Yeah.
And then to get it up to 40 pieces, it came with 8 of these ones that are like a fucking quarter cup or maybe a half cup.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I ever gonna put in this? And then it has a bunch of tiny lids that they're like, oh, they interlock and stack, but then you have a stack that's really narrow and really tall, and so that's in the way. It's just like, give me a 20-piece set that's just these sandwich sized ones, and if I have to split it into 60 containers, like I make a huge thing of beans, I'll split it into multiple containers. But even that's more convenient because then you can split it up in all those containers, throw half of them in the freezer, keep the rest for eating this week, and the next week you pull those down, let them thaw.
And they're always trying to reinvent the lid, right? Because I mean, you got a regular one that's just lock and groove, but then there's like this one's got like actuating locks, and this one's got like the vacuum seal on it, and this one folds in half. And
yeah, I have 2 vacuum sealing Tupperwares that go with my vacuum sealer for like sealing into little baggies things. And they're interesting, but they don't stack well.
Nope.
And the lids don't fit in. So it's just 2 more pieces that don't match any of the other pieces in the cabinet.
Yeah. And
here we are.
And we'll keep buying. Another thing is like there's this it's like AIDS, because like if you have women in your life, they'll like want to trade Tupperware with each other. You go to other people's houses and take some leftovers, and congrats, now you got more crappy Tupperware in your shelf that you're keeping.
Yeah, or you have like all the stuff that comes in plastic containers, like you buy a thing of potato salad. Lunch meat
sour
now
cream
comes,
or whatever,
and people will take those and wash them and like reuse them a bunch of times, and then you have those in your cabinet, and that is apex poverty right there. Like I'm not gonna buy.
That's the first thing that came to mind when he brought up Tupperware was like old containers of like margarine or like soup or whatever,
dude,
that my grandparents like would use to store and freeze all leftovers.
We have leftovers in Country Crock containers.
Yes, Country Crock, the brown Country Crock. Like that's the thing I think of when I think of like Tupperware.
Yeah, I do keep the Hillshire Farm ones because
the lunch meat ones,
they're the exact size of a sandwich.
Oh, okay.
So they're great for throwing in my lunch pail.
Yeah.
And I also keep them for stuff like curry and spaghetti that will stay in regular plastic Tupperware, because then it's like, all right, I
can just throw this out and get another one.
Yeah, I'll take it to work for lunch, eat it, and then just throw it all in the trash.
And those are always usually because they're so, they have to make a bunch of them.
They are flimsy as shit.
They're flimsy as shit.
I bought one the other day and like the whole thing was broken. I was just like, God damn it. So I had to put my it's like in a little bag inside the Tupperware. And then I put that inside a Tupperware that I bought. It's like, we really could have saved some time by not sending this in a fucking Tupperware.
Send me the bag.
Yeah. Put it in a Ziploc bag.
Exactly. We just got to go full third world at this point. We're already there, right? Let's become Mexico. We just like keep everything in this shitty plastic like goldfish bag. There you go. That's your soda. That's your That's your potato salad, your macaroni, whatever the fuck. Your sandwich meat's just in the plastic bag. Here you go.
Make America Mexico again.
Yes,
that's what I say.
Munga.
And the other funny thing about the Tupperware is that it's not one of those ones that people go, "Oh, this is terrible for the environment that you have Tupperware. We should switch back to glass." Because we had glass stuff in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And then they switched to Tupperware because it's like glass shatters and then it gets in the ocean and then you have glass on the beach. And nobody likes glass on the beach, so we'll switch to using plastic for everything. And I remember distinctly this commercial as a kid where they had like a 2-liter soda falling out and it like bouncing instead of shattering. And it was all these different things. And plastics make it possible. And it was like paid for by the petroleum industry. And I thought, well, that's cool. Like, you know, we switched to plastic because glass has all these problems. And then now we have people like, yeah, I have a glass water bottle now because it's better for the environment. And plastic is now evil because it turns out it like dissolves into microplastics that fill your body before you're born. And I like that's just one of those things that happens in an advanced society where we're trying to make things that'll last longer than humanity was meant to last. Like the other thing about the Tupperware is that you put stuff in there and you're like, I'll get to that eventually. And then you just end up throwing it straight in the trash, except now it smells funnier. And you have a weird thing growing in your Tupperware that you're like, is the dishwasher going to make this clean? I don't know. Instead of making smaller portions.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing, as a single person, like living alone, and you go buy, if you're buying components for meals, it's always in large forms. Like you can't just buy a single chicken breast.
No, because it's more expensive.
Yeah, you can buy 2 chicken breasts, or you can buy like a family size pack
for like less per piece than the small one is. Yeah.
And so then it's like, well, I have to cook. I'm going to cook this chicken breast for this thing. I need to cook this whole chicken breast because I have no way to not cook a whole chicken breast.
Yeah.
And then you either have leftovers that you throw away, or you eat too much and you get fat.
Yep.
And because we're not like a family could just buy 4 chicken breasts, 4 little single chicken breasts, but a single person buys 4 and they have to figure out what to do with the other 3. That's why I love the vacuum sealer, because I'll buy the big family size and seal them into individual things. And then if I need 1 chicken breast for a thing, I can just use that. It's great. It is kind of like Tupperware though.
Yeah.
But it stores in a nice
blight. It's a blight on this world. We need to just take all of our plastic Tupperware containers and just light a giant bonfire. I'm actively anti-environment, we need to burn away all the atmosphere. Just we gotta block out the sun with as much carbon as we can. Let's go.
We should take all the Tupperware and put it in that mountain. Is it Yucca Mountain that they're like, we're gonna put nuclear waste down in here?
No.
So it'll be irradiated for 1 billion years.
Yeah. So I think there's only like 30% of the world is land. All the rest is water. We just throw it in the water.
That's a great idea, Tim.
We can make a new country out of all this garbage.
Yes.
Here's what I don't get, land. Here we go. Tabithia or whatever. There we go.
I'm the emperor of Plastikistan.
Plastikistan.
It's a floating island nation that attacks other neighboring islands and steals their Dr. Pepper.
Yes, it's a pirate island.
Plus, the mutant powers will develop from the microplastics. That'll be a huge bonus.
Yes,
that'll
and then we can all be X-Men.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
There we go. You could be Magneto.
Solve world hunger. Well, thank you, Koof. I want to thank you for not killing yourself, number one. But I also want to thank you for supporting the show and joining us today, and trying to make the world a little bit of a brighter place. Because so many people aren't doing that.
Thank you for the words of gratitude. Thank you for keeping the show for so long. I haven't been as long of a listener as everyone else, but I'm glad that you've been putting your all into this show. I know you've over the last couple of years it seemed you've kind of gone through a lot. So just want to reiterate my gratitude for you for trucking along. Keep on trucking and tucking.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And also, most importantly, thank you all for not killing yourselves.
Thank you. Well, I saw Cray. He's popped in and out a couple of times. And he was always on during someone else. Oh, there he is. I'm gonna add him to the stream, and then we'll wrap it up with Mr. Kill Everything. He's ready with his final issue. Cray, welcome to the show.
Hey, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Freaking Sparklight Internet. Piece of crap. Okay.
Never even heard of that one.
Okay. So anyway, I'm going to take these headphones off a little bit because holy hell, I'm blow my head off here. Okay. So here's what I don't get, guys. Small town cops. Lazy, corrupt, cocksucking small town cops. So the city I live in has 4 units. This is a real small town. 2 fusions, 2 explorers. You just see them cruising around together, 2 at a time, 1 officer per unit, wasting taxpayer-funded gas. Where I live, if you accidentally leave a vehicle unlocked, it'll be cleaned out of anything small someone could carry easily because thieves make a nightly sweep for unlocked vehicles to rob. First time it happened to me years ago, they got 3 vehicles that I got here, and I made the mistake of calling the cops to file a report for my stolen stuff. Mm-hmm. They told me it was my fault because they were unlocked. Despite the were deep enough in the property, people would have to trespass just to get to them. So it's my fault. Yeah, don't leave your shit unlocked. No. So I asked him, can I press trespassing charges? No, there's no point because that won't stick. No, don't press any charges, because they don't want to do paperwork. That's all that any of the shit's about. So somehow, accidentally, I imagine, these cops actually recover my stuff. They capture the people.
That's amazing.
And they have me come down there to identify it. And I identify them. Oh, yeah, this is exactly the way I described it to you. And they're like, okay, thanks. When do I get my stuff back? Oh, no, we need that for evidence. And the people that did it, they're in and out in a weekend and out robbing vehicles again. My shit is gone forever. Never got it back. And it's fucking cocksucking cops. Then years down the road, neighbor's pit bull comes and murders a cat in my backyard. I report this to animal control because fucking bull just running loose. So 2 cops, of course, 2 units come out. They threatened to ticket me because I had a cat outside, not on a leash. A fucking leash on a cat. And then they threatened me with another ticket because one of the vehicles I had parked on the street out front was facing the wrong way. Just incredible. They do anything they can not to do any paperwork, not to do anything. And then they will threaten your ass just to not do anything. Fucking small town cops, man.
Oh, out here they're the worst.
Yeah.
They're worse than, the city guys. They'll let you off on, a big thing. Like, hey, you're going like 15 over. Slow it down next time. The fucking small town guy. I got pulled over after I got rear-ended in the Accord. I got pulled over on my way home from Thanksgiving in this small town, and the guy's like implying that I got drunk and rammed my car into something on my way home. It's like, and then he saw that it was all the seams were taped up with tape that had like slowly started to peel off. That obviously an old accident. Just fucking hassling me for no reason. And then it's like. And you're Barney Fife. Like, you have 20 square miles to patrol where nobody goes. What better do you have to do? What better thing do you have to do than, like, fucking take reports? Just collect a paycheck, I guess.
Yeah. There's a town 20 miles away from me. And what they got caught doing, one of their officers, he was planting little empty baggies that had dope residue in them on random pullovers just so that he looked like he was doing more shit. That he ruined the lives of like 20, 30 people before they actually caught him doing it.
And then what's the punishment? Like those 30 people right there, like, sorry, your record's expunged, but the damage is already done.
Yeah. I went to jail.
Yeah. My butthole is never, am I going to get reconstructive butthole surgery?
Yeah.
You know who had some reconstructive butthole surgery?
Who?
Dennis. Who's the guy that does the exercise stuff? I was gonna say, what's his name?
Billy Blanks?
No, the fucking Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons had reconstructive butthole surgery. That would have been a lot funnier if I had remembered the name.
Yeah. Sure.
I think it's Maddox, on the biggest problem in the universe. He brought in that homeowners associations were the perfect example of a libertarian government because it was literally small in
literally
scope.
Small, yeah.
But I think like so Tulsa, right? Population of 600,000 people inside the Tulsa metro, in the Tulsa city limits, and about 1 million in the Tulsa metro area. Say Tulsa guy, like a single cop, he doesn't have really any power. Like he has the power of the interaction with you, of the law behind him, but he didn't really he can't. What's he gonna do? Like park out outside your apartment complex and fuck you over? Whereas a small town cop, either 2 of them, 4 of them in a small area. Like they know where you live.
Yeah.
They've seen your car driving multiple times a week, probably. Like they can fuck you around, and they know it and you know it. And so they have this like big head because they have a larger impact than someone else because they're the apex of a libertarian government there. As opposed to just live and let live, just do your fucking job. That's like if your car gets broken into, no offense to you, I don't understand calling the cops because I'm honestly shocked they ever found anything. Seems like 90% of the time it's just like, there's been a string of break-ins, the last month, and then I guess that's probably the news though that they don't report when, hey, the cops finally caught these shitheads, and then didn't convict them of anything because the court system just like, all right, you're gonna plea deal you guys out with nonviolent misdemeanor, you'll be on probation for 2 years, and then
2 years
do it again
to not get caught,
and then you do it again. They're like, oh, we're only sending like violent criminals to prison, and not.
You get a month. Do a month.
They don't even do months, man. They just fucking let them out of their own reconnaissance. They have them call not a bailiff, a parole officer like once a month. Hey, you got a job? Yeah, I totally got a job. All right, cool. See you next month.
Yeah, it's a money-making scheme because you let them out and you can catch them again, and they have more fines every time. So you can just keep that income coming into the local court system, and it's infinite because these people have money. I mean, these drug dealers have money out the ass. Like my neighbor, he got raided last weekend, I think it was, like not Thursday, but the week before. And this guy had pounds and pounds of weed, which is over the legal state limit at this point. He had a bunch of other stuff I don't think they actually found. And he had a $30,000 bond. He was out the next day. Because, that's nothing. I got that.
Well, like here in Oklahoma, if you are put on probation, you have to pay. They used to call them probation fees.
Yeah.
And then it was like sued in court that wasn't allowed because the probation fees went to they go to fund the district attorney's office because they underfund the district attorney's office in Oklahoma. So then they just pass a new thing and they called them something else, and now that's kosher. And so you pay a monthly fee to the district attorney's office that funds their budget so that you can be a criminal.
Yeah.
So if you take a plea deal on something and they're like, okay, you're going to be on probation, supervised or unsupervised, you're paying them, however much a month or however many years or months or weeks you're on probation, and they just fucking pocket that money. So they have a vested interest in prosecuting you for something that even if you didn't do it, just something they can nail you on just to get that money to come in.
You know what's funny is
if you don't go back on the street, right? If they send you to prison, well, they don't get any money. But if they put you on probation, I get my little monthly fee. We can go ahead and like plea this down and put you on probation for 2 years and collect our little fee. And then if you don't pay it, then you're going to prison.
You know what's funny is you brought up Barney Fife. I literally just the last episode of the Andy Griffith Show that I watched was one where...
Hold on, Tim. When was the last episode of Andy Griffith that you watched?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Jesus Christ.
What? I enjoy the show.
Are you 90?
I grew up with that show, man.
Fucking Aaron Paul over here.
Yeah, anyways. No, the episode. What happened in the episode was they literally had no crime to. They had nothing to do. So Andy invented a crime before Barney to solve, to make him feel better, to like get his spirits up.
I know exactly the episode.
Trucking and Tucking knows this episode. Holy fuck!
That was a comedy bit.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
You guys gonna go get some malts and go to the sock hop later?
I hope so.
Fucking old sons of bitches. I have no idea when the last time I watched the Andy Griffith Show was.
Yeah.
Probably in the double digits of years. Probably nearing on 20.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
I remember like TV Land, it used to be on in the mornings.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would be, I'd like put it on because it was the least offensive thing. You guys are fucked up. And also, yeah, that sounds exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it in like 15 years.
Yeah, but you just have notes about every episode.
It's a good episode.
Stop talking when you're not on the fucking microphone. Shit's going off the rails. All right. Well, Cray, that was a great don't get. I fucking 100% on board with you. Thanks for listening to the show and supporting us, and thanks for calling in for our penultimate episode.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for playing all that random musical shit I threw in over the years. I know some of it was a little rough, but it was quick put together. So,
you know, it was always fun playing the listener submitted stuff. So, well, take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. And now we're gonna go with. He was our first on, but he's gonna be our last. Don't get. Welcome back to the stream. Known for his time at the meat packing plant in Silence Grove, Pennsylvania. It's Mr. Kill Everything. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. First off, I have a question right off the bat. Is Cray the one who did that song about Maddox? Cuck, cuck, I am not a cuck.
That I don't remember. Cray, we'll have to post.
It was a great song. It was a electric light ELO song. That was just wonderful. So I don't know if Cray's in chat somewhere. Please let me know if you are the one, because that was a great song you submitted to the show. I was probably a year and a half ago, maybe longer.
Yeah, it all blurs together recording the episode. So, well, Mr. Kill Everything, what is your don't get this week?
If you have the time, there's a couple of things I want to quickly say real quick.
Okay.
As I was listening along, I do want to say I agree that Better Call Saul is probably better than Breaking Bad. Both shows are glorious, but I even like the movie El Camino, and I'm excited for tomorrow night, the end of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there, and another quick comment I wanted to make as I was listening. Yeah, it's amazing how many single mothers are on dating sites that have numerous kids. I eventually had to write down, it's like, no single mothers, you're insufferable. You like to have fun for a little while, but you just become the bitch that you always been. And also I had to say something, because I see this in various dating profiles of women saying that their children are their world, and it's always really been, how do I put it? The women who say their children are their world are often the worst mothers.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than that is when it's like, my dog is my world. Here's something that drives me nuts with that is I'm a dog mom.
God.
You're not a dog mom. You're a pet owner.
Yeah.
And the difference between being a dog mom and a pet owner, right, is if you lock a dog in your car and it dies, you're going to get hit with like animal cruelty, probably a fine, maybe some time in prison. You lock a toddler in a car, you are going to prison. You are not going to Casey Anthony your way out of that shit. That's the difference between being a parent and being a pet owner.
Yeah.
You can go to PetSmart, and if your dog gets hit by a car, you go to PetSmart, you get a new dog. You fucking let your toddler wander in the street and it gets hit by a car, and it becomes a whole legal deal you're going to have to go through. And then it's going to be at least 9 months before you can shit out another one. I cannot stand that. I'm a pet parent. I'm a pet parent. No, you're a moron. You're an empty nester who is putting your feelings of inadequacy into an animal, and it's cruel. That's the real animal cruelty.
Amazing.
Anyway.
So, one of the don't gets I wanted to bring in was talk about plug cigars, but I ended up coming up with a new don't get because of the interaction with Sage. So, the plug cigars, about a month ago, I got a Partagas, all that. It probably cost $25, and you can't even light it and smoke it, and you're shoving toothpicks in there. And just to try to get some airflow, and it's just fucking infuriating. But I think I've might have talked to you about that privately, Tab.
Yeah, we did
some time ago, and I don't remember what it was you had. If it was a Macanudo or a Cohiba, but
it was a Monte Cristo that I got that was plugged all the shit, and I ended up cutting the end off like several times.
Yes,
I have a tool for clearing it out. Never got it. I got cigars from the Leaper's Fork Distilling to go with the Leaper's Fork bourbon that we tried, and mine was plugged all the fuck, and I ended up just giving up on it. It's miserable.
Yeah, it took a lot of cutting and poking with a toothpick to save that Partagas, but it's just like, this costs so much money. I just don't want to throw the whole thing in the trash.
Yeah,
but
there's
anyways,
no guarantees on cigars.
Yeah, I know. But the don't get I ended up switching to that was inspired by Sage is memory, not remembering things, because he was saying these things, and I was generally getting confused because he's saying I'm dwelling on things, and it's like, well, no, I just remember things. I mentioned some examples, but it just didn't seem to land. I watch a movie, I remember it. I read a book, I remember it. I go to work, I do things, I remember what was done that day, and know not to do this, or maybe this needs to be done because certain tasks were accomplished. So I looked it up. I looked up brain exercises to improve memory, and trying to find different examples. And I'm seeing things like meditation, visualizing, but some of the things that stood out for me, for one, playing games. I play a lot of video games after work. And when I return to the game, I remember puzzles I have solved and things that I have and things I have accomplished. And it's like, well, these things worked and these things didn't work. Let's move on and try these other things. Other things I found was playing card games. Well, yeah, I've played a lot of card games over the years, and some other examples that that stuck out to me because when I was young, I excelled slowly, and I was given certain tasks, and one of them is crossword puzzles, which I see right here on this list. Yes, I did a lot of crossword puzzles. And I was also challenged to go look up things for certain parts of the puzzles that I couldn't figure out. And over time, that became easier. Jigsaw puzzles, Sudoku, playing chess, checkers. Oh, okay, here in this list is even playing video games that I already mentioned.
Is jerking off one of them?
You know, no woman you jerk off to is really worth remembering.
That's a good one.
But another one is like learning new skills. Well, I'm constantly learning. I see that it talks about learning music. I played music 8 years consistently throughout my life. I have been resurrecting those skills. I can still read music, bass clef, treble clef, and I'm applying it to piano. I got a crappy keyboard back over here that I am now learning, and it's like, hey, I remember all this stuff from years ago that I did, and now I just need to apply it to this new instrument. Other things it talks about is personal. Oh, go ahead.
Do you ever remember things like you'll be having a conversation about something? You remember something from the conversation you had with them, and people get creeped out by that because you remember far more detail than they expect?
Yes, and that mainly happens with girlfriends or ex-girlfriends.
Bingo.
But yeah, And they kind of said the same thing Sage did. It's like, I'm just dwelling on these things. It's like, no, I guess I'm exercising the mind without even realizing it. It's like, I'm not dwelling on these things. I just remember. Sometimes things are said, which kind of makes me go, oh yeah, this, or oh yeah, that. And it sounds like you're going to say something, Tab.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a Nintendo DS game that was like
Brain
Age,
Train your brain. Yeah.
And it would like make you would take a test. It would tell you like where you had to strengthen your brain, and then you could like do things to strengthen the other sides, and it gave you that like pentagon that I don't remember what the tiers were, but that was like people got really into that, trying to make themselves smarter. I wonder how many of those people got any smarter.
I don't know.
I feel
probably
like
not a lot.
Number is close to zero.
Yeah, because all that stuff moved over to apps now. They have all that stuff is in apps now. It's like brain training stuff.
Yeah, I never played that.
I remember someone on the bus had it, like because I never had a DS.
Yeah.
And then we would and be like, oh yeah, let me try that, and then you just like fuck it completely beyond belief. And be like, you might be retarded, and he'd be like, you brought down my total average. I'm not retarded. It's not what the Brain Age says. You're gonna we're ceding to that.
Yep.
But it's like, but yeah, there's different things you pick up on, you learn, you exercise the mind. Tab, I think you said you learned German before?
Yeah, I took German in middle school and high school.
I did it after I graduated from college, and but I feel like a lot of that is lost. But when I listen to German music or other German things, things start coming back to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
political stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If I were to say, hello, Tim und Tab, ich bin Mr. Kill Everything. I don't know if I said that right, but maybe you might remember Tab.
I think you'd have to be hair kill everything.
Oh no, you are correct. Hair tut alles. Hair tut alles. I think that's what it would be.
Is tut alles everything? Sterben is die. I don't remember what kill is.
Tot should be. Oh wait, tot means dead.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm not perfect on that, but things are still coming back to my mind.
Yeah.
And
yes, well, it's why
I'm listening to a song in my head currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's why the people that actually move and live in the place where the language is spoken are the people that are always best at like picking it up and learning.
Yeah.
Because the more you use it, it gets built in.
I remember seeing this fascinating documentary. I think it was like Nova probably or something as a kid, and it was all about mental maps and the way we build. So to navigate like around your town, you build this mental map, and you kind of know where things are. And it's not a map in the sense of like I know that Zunis is the one street and then Yale is the next one, but you kind of build things in relationship to one another, and so it activates a specific part of your brain that like music and other recall is also built there. So if you have good mental maps, your brain also organizes like other information in a similar fashion. So someone who can quickly like move to a town and figure out how to navigate and draw those parallel lines is more likely to be able to store and recall information in their head because the way it's organized basically. So it's like a file system type. Yeah. And they showed with mice that they would learn mental maps of these mazes, and they knew where they weren't solving the maze because they had already done it and they had built a mental map, and they were like using colored things at junctions, and they figured out that the mice were like memorizing the color order. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Because then they put them in a new maze that had the same color order, and they took the color order and didn't get to the cheese. And then they were like, "What the fuck? This is bullshit!" Like when you like make a left, you're like, "Oh yeah, it's the brick house there on the end." And you make a left, and you're like, "Where the fuck am I?" Oh, that's a different brick house.
Yeah. Oh no! So I did not see what it was you were talking about, but no, that is interesting, and also. Since this Don't Get is inspired by Sage, I just came across another point about exercising regularly. Well, Sage complained about not being able to park closer to buildings and stuff and having to walk extra distances. Well, this is saying regular exercises benefit for both the brain and the body. Authors of a 2019 review note that the exercise improves the following aspects of brain health: memory, cognition, motor coordination. And it's like, okay, being lazy is fucks up your head.
Yeah, this is alt-right propaganda. Fitness is somehow good for you.
Yeah,
I saw this on Twitter. They were telling me it was this this beautiful woman, or I think maybe 3 or 4 of them. I don't know.
God.
It's like I think might have been taken. They took a picture with like a spherical aspect lens at a very close distance. Because she looked almost like a planet. But she said that exercise wasn't good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit.
She also said it donates
Fuck that
to
her.
OnlyFans.
Fuck her. Fuck her.
I love
Exercise
the
isn't good for
massively fat people that are like, yeah, you don't need to exercise. Like, nah, you definitely need to. There's definitely like a homeostasis fatness, I think, that people exist in, where like they don't eat good, they don't eat great, they don't like specifically exercise, they're overweight, but you know they're able to like live a normal life, go to the store, they walk a little bit, that kind of stuff. And then there are the people that are like fucking Jabba the Hutt, evolve out of there. Like, you like there's those TV shows on the TLC where they're like My 1,000-Pound Fiance or whatever, and it's like this fucking blob of a person just laying in a bed and like, I'm at McDonald's. I'm at McDonald's. And then someone fucking brings McDonald's and shovels it down this fucking person's gullet, and it's like, you would lose weight just through attrition if someone just closed the fucking door, put a padlock on there, and put like just make the doorway narrower, like a foot narrower, and then don't let anyone in there. And it's like, give her the keys. You get the keys, because it's not like she's gonna be able to throw the keys weighing 5,000 pounds. There's like a padlock door, and you have to unlock the door and also fit through it, and you'll be healthy then.
Yeah,
that's my solution to fatness. Smaller doors.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be blocking traffic on the way in, so they might be losing money too, because the fat people are too lazy to get out of the fucking way. I tried to leave a voicemail about fat people and how they take up space, even if they're like driving in a small car. It's like even though they're like crammed in their small car, they still somehow try to take up as much of the road as possible. I bombed on that voicemail. And I still don't know how to explain it, but I see it regularly. Considering, well, you know, I'm on the road often with one of my jobs. It's like fat people fat people with small cars still somehow take up a lot of the road. I don't know how to explain it.
I think they're just used to it.
They're just used to taking up more space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. But another point I wanted to bring up that this site says is sleeping. What is it? What time is it? An hour and a half ago, Sage just said in Discord, talk about staying awake for 30 hours to be on here fucking late and drunk. Kill me, he says. Well, this site also says sleeping is good for memory.
No wonder I can't remember anything.
Oh, go ahead.
I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night. I got up today at just before 8 to go to breakfast. I hate about like when you don't live in a place and then you go back there for something. I had to like cram so much shit into 3 days.
No,
vacation.
I sympathize with the sleeping part, because I was a trucker. I did forest fires. I was a firefighter.
How many did you do?
How many what?
Forest fires. You set, yeah.
Forest fires? Oh God. going back to 2013. See, out of Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Utah.
You did all of those?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We travel. We traveled where we called to. My boss would never let us go to California because he says, "Fuck California. That could all burn down to the ground." My boss was awesome like that.
So would you guys use like gasoline, or did you like throw torches out there? Was it like a delayed?
Yeah, there's some people who's arrested in California for starting forest fires, just so they could get work. And just so they could get work, they somehow got caught.
Backdrafted.
Yeah, backdrafted.
I don't know how many fires I've done. It's like from 2013 to 2019. I'm not sure. I've gone from Sedona, Arizona to the Grand Canyon to near Beaver, which I gave Sage that fake address. Well, a real address, but not my address. And it doesn't matter. I've done a few, and he totally railroaded me by that question too.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. Now I remember. It's like I sympathize with the sleeping part. I work 2 to 3 jobs, and I'm up a lot, so I sympathize with that part. Sage has been awake for a while. He's not remembering things correctly. I sympathize with that too. Being a trucker, I was driving a 2006. I was driving a 2006 vehicle, which meant there are certain things I didn't have to have, so I lied on my logbook while going over the road, and I had multiple logbooks. One was honest, one was slightly dishonest, one was totally fucking fake, and I would have the loose sleeve stuff and intertwine them as needed in case I got pulled over for a random inspection or whatever, and always made it through. So...
Bunch of small town cops fucking you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember, what was it? Chino Valley, Arizona. Cops are bored out of their fucking mind. In Chino Valley, north of Prescott. And eventually I had to take another route out of Phoenix, when I go to up through Vegas to Mesquite. Mesquite, the same place where that Mandalay Bay shooter came from. And... so I sympathize with that, but sleeping does help.
Yeah,
as well as playing, games, memory things, puzzles, video games. It's like do things that stimulate the mind.
Was there anything in there about ordering dinner before a place closes? Does that help with memory at all?
No, I did not see anything on like that. And
we should do some more studies.
Yeah,
we probably should do some more studies. Absolutely. But I'm happy that my coworker. No, they're not going to be former coworkers because I'm still going to keep my employment there. If someone calls in sick, they're just going to call me up and say, "Hey, can you work? Can you cover this shift?" And it's either going to be a yes or no. I'm going to do my main job, and then I'm going to go over to the cigar bar, which is, I'm barely started, but it's already the most relaxing fucking job I've ever had. It's like a dream job.
Yeah.
Where I go there, you light up a smoke, you cash out customers, and pour them up drinks, pour them up a beer, pour them up a port, a wine, whatever. And you're watching UFC, other fights, boxing, and of course other people want different things on screens, whether it be baseball or football, whatever. It's literally a dream job. It does not feel like work.
That's the best kind.
That sounds great.
Rage Scholar said better memory allows you to remember to have dinner at the right time so you don't wander in before the
Yes. That is, oh God, I can't believe I just snorted on stream.
That was a funny
yes, that is great. Oh, I also see that wait, where did it go?
I don't know.
Happen? Oh, I clicked on something. Cray says yes, parody of ELO's telephone line entitled Internet Cuck. Appreciate the recognition. Cray, you did a great job at that. And for anybody who doesn't remember, I wish I could tell you what episode it was, but that was a great parody song.
Well, so for people who don't know, Mr. Kill Everything was the first dickhead that I met in person. I don't.
And
remember.
you are the first dickhead I ever met in person as well.
Yeah, I posted on Reddit or something or Twitter. I was like, I'm on my way to L.A. I'll be taking it Route 40. If anyone's along the way and wants to like grab dinner or whatever, grab a drink, let me know.
Yeah.
So
I was living in Flagstaff at the time.
He messaged me and he's like, "Hey, let's meet at this place." And so met at this bar, and I was like, "I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna kill me."
Yeah.
And we met up. We had a couple of drinks. We chatted for I don't know an hour or two.
About an hour or two. Yeah, we had Hadeland Park.
Yeah, and then it was it was still pretty early, and I wasn't tired, so I ended up pushing on a little bit further. But it was like, okay, this community isn't like all weird degens. As
Just
much
mostly.
as much as it sounds like it's degens, there's like a lot of like good, wholesome people. And I think that like here's what I don't get has cultivated even more so the kind of like normal, well-wishing, hardworking, just normal people.
Yeah.
And I think that's like that's why like our Discord, we don't have. People will go in there and like shit posts and jokes and stuff, but we don't have like people working bits, or we just have people having conversations about whatever
stuff. Yeah.
And I don't remember when it was. It was probably several years ago at this point, but someone was like, "Oh yeah, if you need a mod for the Discord, like I'll do it." And I was like, "We really don't even have that many members, and like any mod stuff, I'm happy to do it. I think we're kind of better. If we get to a point where we need mods, then maybe I'll start to look for someone. And we've never needed it.
No,
we haven't really blocked.
Because the last time you had to ban someone, yeah,
you banned the last person because it was some account joined and was just like free men's 6 extension pills, and like I don't remember.
I banned them so that they can only talk to me about that.
Like, I told you to tell me that shit in private. I am tired of your bullshit. But
go ahead.
Anyway, that was like the last thing, and I remember logging in, and there was all this flurry of activity, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And Tim was like, "Yeah, some guy jumped in here and was like hawking dick pills." And I was like, "Did you order mine? Did you order them, Tim?"
But Tab,
so
there's something you brought up about being something you brought up a while ago, which I've been wanting to comment on for a while now, about dickheads being some of the greatest people you ever met. Well, I'm sure you both remember my so-called, oh shit, I just dropped it. About my Rape Dungeon shower bit.
Yes.
And
there was what, wild turkey and all the handles in your shower just in case.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, where I'm living now, the handlebars don't stick because the shower walls are textured, and I got to come up with a new solution for that. But
the place I moved now.
Oh, go ahead.
I have like glass smooth tiles in the shower, and they're big, so I could probably put a lot of handles up in there.
A lot,
yeah.
Oh, I could put a lot up in mine right now.
Oh, if they weren't textured.
Walls. Yeah, if they weren't textured. Back in Las Vegas, where we were hanging out, and Coach and Randy and all that were hitting on those drunk chicks and all that stuff.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and we were just watching that one woman open up her dress and showing her beaver.
That I don't remember.
You talked about it on this very show. I do remember that very well. You'll have to look up. The Vegas episode because you told the story.
Episodes. Yeah, I guess I need to exercise and play more Crossroads.
Yeah. No, it's like you went over to tell this one bitch who was defending off our friends from our drunk friends, while I went over to the Beaver girl and her friend, and it's like, hey, close your legs.
Yeah, okay, I do remember that now, because she was pissed drunk, and she was like sitting in a slung back sofa, right? And just had her
on some
legs
steps outside
open.
of the Paris
hotel. Yeah,
or whatever.
I remember that now.
Yeah,
it was when we were leaving that beer garden. It had like just closed.
Yeah, it's like we weren't allowed to smoke in there. I had some miniature Davidoffs. Coach was excited to have one, and we all had to put them out. And it's like I was fucking
It was outside.
crushed.
And
Yeah,
it was outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was outside, and we had to put this shit away. It's like, do you realize how much this fucking cost? And I handed them out, and they're fucking ruined.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
that place was not great. And the service
it
was
wasn't.
terrible. They were like surly about it. Just want a fucking Stella. Settle down.
Yeah, and thank you for the drink again that you got me.
Oh yeah, no problem.
God, we totally railroaded again. But trying to back up a couple of steps, shower, all that stuff. Oh God damn it! I cannot believe we fucking railroaded.
Now, if you think about it, you'll call him the voicemail.
Yeah,
We'll
you
play
go-
I
it.
guess
one
I'll have
last
to call on the
episode with
voicemail.
voicemail.
Yeah, I know on the last episode. I'll have to bring that up again. Well, so my bad. I didn't mean to railroad that because there was something I was driving to.
Well, I'm going to let you go so we can wrap this up so that we can continue with our evening plans, which involve meat
Mm-hmm.
and sucking.
Yes.
Well, cheers to that. And Tim, since you don't listen to your own show as well, I'm not kidding when you used to do your own podcast on telling the news, because I think that would be great. You're great at delivering the news.
Thanks. We'll it's on the docket to think
Cheers.
about.
Cool. Well, thanks, Mr. Kill Everything. Thanks for the support over all the years. And
Thank you, Tim and Tab, for being great. And also, even though they're not here, thank you, Buck and Chaco, as well. Cheers.
I'll pass that along. See ya. Well, those are all the callers we're going to have today. This is going to be a long episode. I think it may be editable down to get it as a single episode onto the feed. That's my plan. So we'll find out. But this is episode 299 of Here's What I Don't Get.
The penultimate
Guest caller extravaganza. I want to say thank you very sincerely, everyone who called in today, the people who didn't call in today, who've been voicemailers over the years, the people who've listened every week, the people who started listening last week,
And the people who listened to one episode.
Yeah, all of our Patreon supporters, just you've given us a reason to not stop doing this for so long. And really, if it weren't a factor of the distance and the technology limitations, there's really this is really the thing that we were like, this is the trigger for ending the show. There's, if I were to stay in Tulsa,
if we could beam each other over,
there'd be 300 more episodes. So it sucks, but it's the dawning of a new era. We'll have more projects probably.
Oh yeah.
I want to finish. This is very, very sappy. I want to finish this with the fucking song from Mr. Rogers. Such a good feeling to know you're. Anyway, so yes, just to say thank you. Thanks for listening, and I guess live long and prosper, peace and long life. What we do here.
Fucking nerd.
It's a geek. It's a geek. Apparently, the Midwesterners think that nerds are into like Star Trek and geeks are into math, but it is the fucking opposite. I'm fucking tired of these Midwesterners with their bullshit about not knowing what words mean.
Yeah, no, you are totally right.
I'm totally right. Yeah, I'm fucking arguing with these people from Missouri, and they're like, no, you got those backwards. No, you have those backwards.
Yeah, nerd. When I think of nerd, I think of
a pocket protector.
Pocket protector. Yeah.
Oh, fucking sake. It's like living in a third world country up there.
Yeah.
I swear to God. They're lucky they have running water. Well, anyway, this has been Here's What I Don't Get. I'm Ted Burt.
I'm Tim the Handlebreaker.
Until next week.
The final episode.
If you want to call in Here's What I Get Hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. You only have one more week to get your voicemails in. The voicemail line scrolling at the bottom. Anything you want to say can and will be played in the court of law. So send us a voicemail. We're not playing any voicemails this week. This episode's already been very, very long. Yep. We're saving all the voicemails for next week. Who will be the final voicemailer? That's the next question. in the legacy of Here's What I Don't Get. So call in, leave us a voicemail, tell us what you don't get. And keep calling the voicemail for the rest of your life, because you never know. Like someone might answer. Who knows?
Maybe.
So thanks for listening, everybody.